Test, 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 test. How's it going, y'all? What up, Mama Dukes? What's up, Jason? Good morning. Happy Friday. It's Friday, y'all. It's Friday. It's effing Friday. Hello, Brenda. What's up, YouTube? Officially on vacation, JoJo. Where are we at? I'm doing good, y'all. I just went and got coffee. I walked downtown and got myself a hot cup of. I usually get right now. I'm on this. I'm on the chai. I'm on the chai latte train. Dirty chais with an extra shot. That's what I rock. I rock dirty chais, and I get it from this. I believe it's a Mexican coffee place. They also serve empanadas. So I get empanadas and coffee now. I say I do this, but this is my second time doing it. But I think I'm gonna be doing it more regularly. It's fucking delicious, dude. Try to have Yemen coffee. Yemen coffee sounds fucking way delicious. That sounds strong for some reason. West Virginia over the weekend. Ding. I didn't know West Virginia was cultured like that. I didn't know they had that going. Y'all, if y'all haven't done so yet, while we're still getting started, follow me on YouTube. Follow me on YouTube. I also have memberships on YouTube. If you guys are trying to be cool, be one of the first like few people to be a member on YouTube, I dare you guys to subscribe. I don't I have like 10 members on YouTube right now. Why the NASA hat? I don't know. I just like I like the NASA brand. It's nothing in particular about me loving NASA though. I've always loved it since even before like SpaceX became a thing. So it was like it wasn't like edgy to be like I like NASA more than the other thing. I just kind of I don't know. I like their branding. I like the history. J Biz, thank you for the money gun, dude. What's my favorite sandwich? I do Italian sandwiches. I ate ice cream cake with chopsticks last night. That sounds manageable. Sounds manageable. Italian sausage or beef? Nah, Italian's where it's at, bird. Italian is where it's at. I might go text Josh real quick. South Africa G side denial pro. If you guys actually think there's a G side in South Africa, I feel very sad for you. If it all it took was Trump pulling up some fake news articles for you to believe that, you are the mark. You are the one who gets conned. That's why you vote Republican. I just finished watching a bunch of stuff on that. It's absolute BS, dude. Yellow.
What up?
What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
Um, Not particularly. Is that the only people you have up on here?
I usually just try to do debates about Trump. So if you're not on the side of Trump, it's not really a debate.
Okay. Well, I mean, I was just gonna say that I think the left has a hand in pushing people to the right too.
Okay. Is there anything about what I do that does that?
I haven't seen your content, so I don't know.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe stick around. Maybe you can give me feedback on that.
Okay. All right.
All right, man. Take it easy. Chat, I am so sorry to do this to you so quickly, but Tic Tac is going to come and he's going to give you his best routine while I step away and use the restroom while you guys tap and get me to 20K likes. What's up, bub?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Doing good. You mind giving them like some news or something real quick while I do something?
Sure,
I love you.
not a problem. We do have some news.
All right.
So, um, let's see. Where do we start? Donald Trump, he has signed an executive order today. It's aimed at easing regulations on and expanding on nuclear energy. I don't know so much about nuclear energy. I am for nuclear energy. I think it's going to be very beneficial to our country. We need to focus on nuclear, solar, wind. I mean, all that stuff needs to be. But he did open up an expansion on nuclear energy production. Now, the regulations part about it, I'm not so sure about. They also had an executive order yesterday, or not executive order. I'm sorry. His Christy Nome wrote to Harvard University and told them because of essentially they refused to give up information specifically about not only foreign students but disciplinary actions given towards students. They hold on, people keep texting me. Sorry, they wrote Harvard and said that effective immediately, they have to enroll their students in different classes or face deportation, which is wild. Now, a federal court did come out and they blocked that already. So I don't know. Now, the question is Donald Trump going to uphold the federal courts? His argument to the Supreme Court the other day was that the executive branch shouldn't have to listen to the lower courts. They should only listen to the Supreme Court, which he's trying to consolidate power within the executive branch. Trump said that 25% tariffs are going to be paid by Apple, or I'm sorry, on Apple iPhones that are not made in the United States. So if you are an Apple fan, I personally I'm all about Android superiority. But if you are an Apple iPhone user, it's going to go up about 25%, which is not cheap when they're already over $1,000 now. So the Supreme Court did grant Trump his request to be able to fire independent agency members, and this is essentially this is an attack on. Well, I'll just read it to you. The Supreme Court declined to reinstate independent agency board members fired by Donald Trump on Thursday. The decision keeps an appellate ruling to hold temporary reinstating Gwen Wilcox and Kathy Harris. Chief Justice Roberts previously issued an affecting members' removal. Senator Warren, Elizabeth Warren, stated that the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau has returned over $21 billion to families cheated by Wall Street. So this is in the firing of the Consumer Protection Board. When he came in, he had an executive order, or not executive order, but a decision through his administration to fire the president or the head of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. This is literally the people who protect consumers, citizens, us Americans. They protect us from corporations taking advantage of us. We see them taking advantage with things like overdraft fees. We see them taking advantage with scams, predatory loans, things like that. This is exactly what the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau does. They go after that. Um, Actually, Harris was very successful going against corporations within California. we don't have that ability anymore. They've now fired the people, so we don't have that same protection. I'm not sure where Pickles is. So, what else do we have? Trump administration blocks Harvard from enrolling national. We already went over that. They already came back and fought against that. Said he can't do it. Israeli embassy suspect. We know that two individuals at their Israeli embassy were unalived yesterday. The guy was screaming "Free Palestine" as they arrested him and took him out of the building. Now, I think we need to pay attention to this. I think we really need to pay attention to this. I'm going to start by saying anti-Zionism is not anti-Semitism, and there's a very distinct difference. But they're going to try to paint it like that, and I'm really scared of what's going to happen across universities with this incident in particular. Two people have lost their lives. They're going to try to paint this and use this as an example to cut down on protesting, like they've already been doing, but it's going to be amplified because of this attack. And they're going to intertwine anti-Zionism and anti-Semitism together to do it. JFK is coming out. He's saying the UK, not JFK. The UK is coming out and they're saying that they're going to drill more in the North Sea, which Greenland just came out and they signed a deal with the European Union, completely just like it's like they forgot about Trump and all the stuff that he was saying, which I agree they should just completely negate anything he said. But they went around his back and they signed a bunch of mineral rights deals with the European Union, and I'm sure we're going to hear about that. Trump's going to post about that soon enough. Pickles, I need you to come back. So we have a Georgia college student detained by ICE after being wrongfully pulled over. He was granted bond today after being in custody. A Georgia community college student was granted a $1,500 bond by a judge after being falsely detained by Immigration and Customs Enforcement for several weeks. Authorities in Georgia dropped traffic charges, literally got pulled over for traffic violations, against Arias Cristobal. After reviewing video evidence and showing that she would not have been pulled over. ICE is still able to deport since she is not in the country legally, and Homeland Security has threatened deportation to Mexico. So, wait, she's not in the country legally, okay, but she was detained. I don't know how she's a student if she wasn't here legally. That doesn't make sense. Hold on one second. I was trying to read the story a little more. Also, Donald Trump had talked about ending pennies, and he did just that. The U.S. Mint has made their very last order for blanks, for penny blanks. So they're going to. So 2025 is going to be the last year that they actually make pennies. After that, they're going to go out of service. I guess we'll never see the $9.99 deals again. It'll only be $10 or $9.95. I don't know how that's going to work, but meh. Yeah, it does. It makes no sense. Actually, it does make sense. I don't care about pennies. Pennies could go away. I'd be okay with that. The Supreme Court actually came out and said, so there's private schools within Oklahoma that are trying to receive federal funds. Now, these private schools, they're religious organizations, and separation of church and state. They've been trying to receive federal funds from the United States government, and the Supreme Court just ruled that they are not allowed to merge those Excuse me. And then I got a little bit more. Hold on. Oh, yeah, okay. Let's talk about the big beautiful bill. This is really kind of, I'm not sure. Like, there's some good things, there's some bad things, there's some really weird things. They've actually they put a bunch of money in there for the wall. I don't know how that actually coincides with taxes, but they've put a bunch of money in. He's going to attempt to build a wall again. Um, I don't know, man. It just sounds like pork. They were screaming and yelling about the Ukrainian deals, the bills that were trying to go through. They were stuffed with pork. That's exactly what this big beautiful bill is doing as well as just silly stuff. Like, he's giving tax breaks for tanning. Like, if you go into tanning, you can use that. You can get a tax break on that, as well as silencers. There's going to be tax breaks on silencers. That's fucking beautiful. Apparently, he's cutting $300 billion from Snap. So, I mean, it's already in America. 1 in 5 children go to bed hungry every night. Every night. Sometimes kids at school, it's the only meal that they'll actually receive during an entire day is school lunches. So we can't not only afford to feed kids while they're in school, apparently we can't afford kids to eat at all. So if your kid is hungry, don't depend on SNAP.
I'm back.
It's also affecting Medicaid and Medicare. Hey man, how you feeling?
We're good. Chat, we're good. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. All right.
All right.
Thank you. I heard every bit of that. You're fucking awesome.
Yeah, I try. Oh, we got somebody in queue, man.
I don't
You
know
want me
if
to jump
this
out, or you want
person...
me to stay around for emergencies?
You can stick around for emergencies. Yeah. Yellow?
Hey, Pickles.
What's up, dude?
Hey, I just wanted to come up real quick because I'm on your side, but I wanted to say I've been following you now for a couple of months, man, and really enjoy the show. I even got my coworker tuning into you now.
Hell yeah. Love that.
So yeah, I just wanted to come up real quick and say, it's glad to see you back. I know you had some drama there for a little bit, man. It's good to have you back.
Thank you.
All right, drop me down, buddy. Have
All
a
right,
good
bub.
one.
You too. What's up, Ken? Making sure to use that. Yes, I did. Jason, we're good. We're gravy, chat. We had coffee and empanadas this morning, and the inevitable followed. So we're here.
My.
Oh yeah, but we're good, baby.
Have you talked about or heard about what happened this morning? Are we not talking about that?
What?
With the Payton thing?
Oh, I've known since, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I've known since last night.
When'd you know? It just happened yesterday.
Yeah, I know. I'm
It
part of
happened
a
this
signal.
morning.
I'm part of a signal group chat of a bunch of creators. It's a bunch of us. But yeah, Payton is a walking, talking POS, dude.
You want to get into it?
I don't know if I want the heat from Payton, but
Oh, who fucking cares, dude?
right? Okay, so as far as I know, Payton held up. He was charged with burglary, armed burglary, robbery.
It wasn't armed. It was just robbery.
Robbery. So yeah, it was something over $5,000. Apparently, allegedly, something over $5,000. Apparently, he held up 3 ladies who may or may not have been black.
No, they were.
Yeah, they were black, and apparently he might have like rich parents who helped scrub this off the internet. They even hid his mugshots. They petitioned to have them sealed. So this has all been on the hush hush while Payton's been going around white knighting everybody, trying to make sure that everybody knows he's better than everyone else. I don't know. Yeah,
It's
he's
wild.
He's a piece of shit. but he's a comedian, right? So like I guess he was in Atlanta for a show and they scooped him up because he didn't show up to court. He was just fucking out. He thought his dumbass thought that he could just roll into, I believe, Atlanta and do a show without being
He
picked
went
up
to
by
a
the popo.
state he had a warrant in.
Yeah.
they scooped him up. Yeah, man. So it was a black-owned business. It was a financial institution, a loan institution that was black-owned. And he walked in and he handed him a note, and the note said, "Get a bag and put all the money in the bag."
Someone said definitely
Fucking
why he
wild.
couldn't fly. That possibly is why he couldn't fly because he had warrants.
No, it's 100% why he had to rent cars everywhere, because you can't fly if you have warrants.
Dude, that guy's fucking weird. So I was on. I'll tell you my interaction with this guy. He was gonna be part of the Unfuck America tour, and he we had a Zoom meeting with all of the creators at the beginning of this tour, and this mother effer, dude. If he wasn't the most annoying fucking person I've ever met in my life, he was like a child on this Zoom meeting. Every 3 seconds, mind you, there's like 40 of us in this meeting, and this fucking idiot is in his car, doesn't have his mic muted. He's driving the whole time, and every 3 seconds, he decides to chime in with like this funny zinger, or what he thought would be funny, like this, like middle school level class clown commentary, and we were like, dude. Like, in my head, I'm like, dude, this guy fucking sucks. I had no idea who it was. Come to find out, that was him. That was him. Dude, Payton is he's fucking weird, man. Not a cool guy. And he's screaming. Yes. Dude, he sucks. What's up, Mermaid? Yeah. Mermaid, yeah. He's fucking weird, dude. That guy sucks. Mind you, I have a colorful past, but it was all before I was 20, and it didn't involve, like, harming people. I was a dumb idiot with drinking. So if anyone ever digs that up, that's my story. You can see it. I'll admit to it all day. I was a party animal before I was 20, but I did nothing like that, bro. And I'm not calling people out.
I broke the law.
Yeah.
I broke the law daily, state and federal, until they legalized it, of course. But daily, I broke the law, man.
Yeah. That was the purity tester we all looked to. Yeah, damn Frank. That's exactly. Yes, the purity shit on the left, the purity culture it's gotten fucking way out of hand.
Hey man, did you hear that they did a bill? Well, it was within the bill actually for artificial intelligence. It was part of Melania's thing actually. She was the one that initiated it. It's criminalizing at a federal level revenge porn. Did you hear about that?
Whoa. No.
Yeah. So all those feet pics I sent you, motherfucker, do not repost them. You hear? Coming after you.
Oops.
Yeah. Wait, did you already?
I made them into NFCs, bro. What are you talking about?
You sold them? Bastard.
All right. Well, we are doing debates. Chat MAGA. If you want to debate, hop in the box. I'm telling you like Trump. David, if this is about my health insurance, I swear to God.
Hey, you still haven't bought him health insurance, David Dale?
It's not about that. It's not about that, but it is along.
It is now. It is now. $1,300. He needs insurance.
It is along those lines. What do you think of Trump doing that?
Cash App is in his bio.
Okay. What do you think of Trump doing that favored nation thing on prescription drug prices with the U.S.? What do you think of that?
I hope it works, first of all. But
Yeah.
if you guys are cheering it on, welcome to the left. This is this kind of stuff that Kamala was championing, right? This is the kind of stuff that she was going to do for us. And now that it's put into perspective of a white man saying it or something, it makes a lot of sense, right?
And now it's not welfare.
You're not against it.
No, I'm not
No,
against
bro,
it
we've been
unless it
championing it for
backfires.
years.
I'm against a president having the
Chad?
authority to do that unilaterally. I'm against that.
Well, it is Trump that did it.
Well, we'll see if it sticks, right? It's probably going to be sued like a motherfucker.
Wait, man. Are you for universal health care?
Me?
Yeah, no, the other fucking
Yes, I
opposition
am.
in here.
Yes, I am. I wish they would expand Medicaid so that he could get covered under Medicaid. So that if you just didn't want to do anything or you didn't want to work or get an income to buy it, that you could just do it and just get on the free Medicaid. I think that should be done. I
No, it
personally
should just
think
be available to everybody.
That's what I'm saying. That is already available. It's Medicaid, but they have a
No, it's
restriction.
not.
Yeah, it is. They have a restriction on what you can get through Medicaid. You can't, you know what I mean? You can't make a certain amount of money to get Medicaid. You don't qualify.
So then it's not available for everybody, huh?
Well, no, just people that
Okay.
don't work. If you don't work, which we could all do that, we could all sit and not work. That the problem is though that right now what they're trying to do is if you're not working and you're able-bodied and there's nothing, you have no you don't have any kids and you don't have a disability, they're making you work. They're actually
Yeah, they,
For 20
they
hours.
did that in the first
Punishment.
place.
It's a punishment for being poor.
Yeah, they did that in the first place, David. That's
Well,
like a
that's
common
what they're
thing.
doing right
You,
now.
do you
That's
know
what
to
all these-
get on
that's
get
what all
on
these cuts
Medicare?
are
Okay,
for.
cool. To get on Medicare or Medicaid to have a disability, you actually have to see a doctor, and then after that doctor diagnoses you with a disability, you've got to see another doctor that's directly connected to the Medicaid department.
That's
and they
what I'm
have
saying.
to.
That's
and
crap.
what the fuck do you mean that's crap? That's exactly how I got on Medicaid.
You're on
I had to
Medicaid?
I had to see a doctor through that was connected to the government to approve me and say yes, this man is disabled. Yeah, 100%.
You can't work, right? You're not able to work.
No, David, I can't.
What's your disability, if you don't mind me asking?
My disability is fuck you for asking. It's not your business.
Is it a secret?
Yeah, it's a secret. It's called fuck you for asking. It's not your business. You can look it up. It's a severe diagnosis. Severe. Terminal.
Oh, it's awful. That is terrible. Well, at least you're covered, right? On Medicaid. Whereas I can't get Medicaid, right? Because I don't have a disability. I think that's bullshit. I think that's complete BS.
Yeah, I agree. You should be able to have health care as well. It should be covered. Yeah. 100%.
Absolutely. And I should
even dickheads like you should be covered by Medicare, Medicaid,
everybody should.
universal health care.
Anybody, and you should not, even if you're working, you should not, that should not make it that you cannot get Medicaid. You ought to still be able to get Medicaid.
Bro,
Right?
do you understand what Medicaid is for all means? Like you keep
Yes, it
saying
is.
these things, and it's like, yeah, that's already covered by Medicaid for all. It's for all. It's for if you're working, if you're not working, if you're working 20 hours, if you're working
Right.
5 hours, if you're working 100 hours, you
Right.
get insurance. Right? So you're like being redundant. You're
Well, that's
saying
why I don't
things that
understand
are
why
already
Pickles
covered
doesn't go on Medicaid.
because he makes too much money. You
There you go.
literally
So
have to make.
It's not for everybody.
Holy fuck, dude. I am explaining what I want it to be, not what it is. Can you keep up?
Well, that's my point. They shouldn't cut it. They should expand it.
No shit.
And then, since we don't pay
Welcome
for that
to the
stuff,
left, David Dale.
Yeah,
Welcome
exactly.
to the left.
and since we don't pay for that stuff, we can just pass that on to our kids. We don't even have to
Did
pay
No
for it.
shit.
We don't even have
Holy
to pay
smokes.
for it.
It took a old ass white man to tell you this for you to come to this conclusion when we've been advocated for decades, literally
I think
decades we've
that's
been advocating
awesome.
for this.
I think that's awesome. Pay for nothing, and pass that shit on to the kids, and then we'll be dead. So it really won't matter.
Dude, if you're talking about being responsible and not going crazy with debt and deficits, your guy Trump did just explode the deficit. He's
By
about
$4
to
trillion.
yeah, he's about to pass that on to your kids, just like you're memeing on,
I understand.
with no plan
I-
on making up for it. There's
I-
gonna be like a
do you not
1%
agree with that?
return, and we're gonna
You
be
don't agree with that?
absolutely fucked as a country. Our credit rating just fell.
It's inevitable. But you didn't.
No,
you don't.
it's
You're
not.
not happy about that.
No, why
Well,
would we be
we're
happy about
expanding
that?
all the social programs, dude.
No, you're not. You're
Because we have
cutting
to
them.
pay more in interest now.
We're-
Anything we
so
loan,
what?
anything we borrow, we have to pay more in interest because our credit
We don't
rating
have
just
to
fell.
pay anything,
It literally affects us as a country.
dude. You're seriously. It's not our problem.
Whose problem is it then?
Your kids.
Oh my god. Are you
Seriously.
are you skirting this onto your kids like facetiously or for real? I don't get it yet.
Well, for real, we want to do all these social programs, spend all these money that we don't have. Where do you want to? How do you want to get the money?
Listen,
Other than
corporations.
Kamala had a way more responsible tax plan that was going to reduce the deficit, like every other Democrat that's ever been in office. We were going to reduce it.
Right, and that's what I'm saying is Kamala wasn't going to cut your taxes; she was going to increase them.
Of course, she was going to cut our taxes.
The taxes on
She was going to increase
How
it
do
on
you
the
cut
rich
your
people.
taxes? How do you cut taxes and increase spending?
Because you cut taxes on the middle class, like every president should fucking do, instead of increase them and cut them for their rich friends.
Oh, tax the rich.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, no shit.
Yes,
Wow.
those poor rich people.
Those guys are mean.
Yes. Yes, we pay a higher effective tax rate than rich people. I've paid more taxes than Trump some years. That's fucking disgusting.
Well, whose fault is that?
Yours for not advocating for taxing the rich.
Well, why aren't Democrats
Trump's
doing
forgotten
that?
it.
Because we don't get to write the tax bills. Fucking Republicans get to do it every time.
Oh, I don't think so.
Well, who wrote it last time? 8 years ago, who wrote it last
the last
time?
one.
Trump
Trump
wrote
did
the
the
last,
last
one,
one.
and now he's writing this one. That's 16
Who
years
wrote
in a
the
row,
one
right?
Before that,
I don't know. Was it Bush?
no. It was Obama.
Okay, and guess what? We reduced the
And
deficit
who
when
wrote
he
the
did
one
that,
before
right?
that?
He
Who
wrote.
wrote the one
we
before that?
we reduced the deficit, right? When Obama did it?
No. He added $8 trillion.
No, you're wrong.
No,
we
Yes,
reduced the
yes.
deficit.
You're wrong.
He added $8 trillion to the national debt.
Okay, you're talking about debt. I'm talking about deficit.
What's the difference?
Oh
This is a good
my
question.
God. Okay.
You don't know the
deficit
difference?
means
Yeah,
recurring.
deficit's for 1 year.
No,
1 year.
deficit is
Debt-
recurring.
not.
Debt-
Deficit is recurring. Debt is
No.
the accrued debt. Deficit is recurring.
You have $200 billion deficit this year. Next year, you have $100 billion, right? All of it added up goes to the debt.
Correct. But a
Obama
deficit.
added $8 trillion to the debt.
Okay.
So he wasn't running surpluses.
No, because we had to bail out all the fucking banks and automakers because of the economic crash. The
Oh,
08
why didn't
crash.
why did he raise taxes then?
He did.
Well, obviously he didn't do it enough. $8 trillion he added to the debt.
Do I really have to do this? You've seen me do this.
Well, come on.
You want me to pull up this chart again?
$8 trillion a lot?
Okay, I'm gonna help you out. Here's Bush coming in, fucking up the deficit. Clinton balancing the deficit. Bush fucking it up.
Wait,
And look what Obama started
Did Clinton balance? Did we wipe out the debt under
with.
Clinton?
We sure did.
Yeah, we had a
We
surplus.
And
wiped
then-
it out.
And then Obama came in and reduced it. He started with this, and of course, by increasing taxes, you see how it goes down? That's a good thing. And then Trump comes in and goes, "Oh fuck, I love free money."
It doesn't matter, dude. It's just our kids that are going to pay for it. What the
All
hell
right.
do we care?
I can't understand if you're actually.
You don't have
being
health
facetious.
insurance, dude. Who's going to pay
does
for
that
your
even mean?
accidents?
What does that
You
even
don't
mean?
care?
What does that even mean?
What does that mean? That means when you
You-
get ill or you come down
You're
with
gonna
something
pay for
or you
it.
get in an accident,
It's a
I get to
pivot.
pay for you.
It's a
So
pivot.
what do you
David,
care?
You're not paying
What
for
You already
anything.
said you were
care?
going to pay for it.
I get to anyway.
No,
I
you
get
said
to
you were
pay
going
for
to.
his- I
You
get to
said,
pay for his fine.
David, shut up. You said you were going to give him $1,300 to start
Right.
an insurance plan. Remember?
Yeah, I did.
Right.
And then
where's
I
the
thought to
money?
myself, well, if
Where's
Medicaid,
the money you?
if
Oh,
Medicaid
why is your
isn't
voice so
gonna cover 'em,
whiny? Are you
why
holding
the
your
hell
nose
should
right now?
I?
This
Why
is
should
fucking
I?
weird.
Because
you
he's
lied.
able-bodied.
You're a
You can go
welcher.
walk down to Starbucks and get
So
health
you're a
insurance
welcher.
immediately.
Just say, I'm a welcher. I'm not good for my word. Just say that.
I'm a
David.
welcher. I'm a welcher.
Okay.
And you're a bigot, but I'm a welcher.
Sure. You're going to have to prove I'm a bigot. You just proved you're a welcher.
All you gotta do is listen to you talk.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
There's no proof needed.
That's circular, David.
Why
am I a bigot? Because you're a bigot.
What
Oh,
you're going to
okay,
do
okay.
is call every person that disagrees with you a racist eventually. That's
David,
what you do.
you're all over the
Only
place.
if you say racist
You're
shit.
all over the place. How did
No,
this
no,
go to
that's
my
what you do
healthcare?
every time. Every time.
How did this get to TikTok's character in my healthcare? How did it get to that? When we're talking about presidents and deficits and parties and debt and me teaching you what the fuck deficit means, this has nothing to do
I
with
don't
my
understand why
healthcare.
you're worried about it.
What? Because
Why are you worried about it?
Because, dude, first of all, the economy is more than just the debt and the deficit. It's just a representation of what's going on. And it's sad that you guys are cheering Trump on for doing this the most irresponsible tax cut this nation's ever seen.
Oh, so we should have let those expire.
What do you mean let them expire? They expire every time.
All he's doing is renewing his first one. So we should have let those expired and going back to the Obama tax plan.
It doesn't just
No, we could've came
revert
up
back
with
to
better ones.
Obama's. It literally just reverts to almost nothing. We change the tax plan every 8 years.
So what happens to the taxes if he doesn't renew them?
I don't
Instead
know.
of giving taxes to the wealthy, he could have given
go
it
on.
to the middle class. David.
I don't know. There are permanent things that happen in taxes for the rich, the cuts for the corporations. Those are permanent. So in Trump's tax plan from the TCJA, the 21% effective tax rate for corporations, that was a permanent provision. But what wasn't permanent was the personal, individual taxes that Trump wrote into that tax plan, because he doesn't give a fuck about you or me. And you guys try to blame Biden for letting it expire when it's nobody's fault but Trump's for making it that way.
It didn't expire.
Yes, they did. They
does
expired
in
in
3
2025.
years.
Yes, they did.
We're renewing it right now in this bill.
Okay, so
Bro.
did they expire or not?
I don't know if they expired
did!
yet. Okay, so so did we pay more now?
Yeah, before the end of the year, if it changes, no.
Okay, then. Okay. So what's your point
But
there?
The corporations are paying less.
They use tricky language to make you feel wronged by people who didn't do anything to you. People when
Well-
you're saying Biden let things expire, people who are very uneducated, very misinformed, feel slighted by that. And that's that is manipulative language, and you just regurgitated it. I'm pointing it out for you so that your feelings don't hurt.
Okay, my feelings don't hurt because you don't have any health insurance, so I can't really take you seriously. So here's the thing.
What does that have to do with anything?
That's personal responsibility. You don't have any.
Dude,
You have
stop
no
it. Stop it.
personal
Your personal responsibility. You could talk to me personal
None.
responsibility
You're
and
a
stop voting for
35-year-old
idiots.
Adult. You're a 35-year-old adult.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry you don't have health care. Chat. Type a 1 in the chat if you don't
Jesus
have health care.
Christ.
There's 20 million of us in the United States. Okay. If you don't like
Yeah,
that, vote
it's
left.
ridiculous.
Vote blue.
Ridiculous. You could walk down to Starbucks right now and have health insurance.
Okay. I'm not going to be a barista for you. Okay. I know
Why not?
that would make you
Why
feel.
not?
I know that would make you feel like I'm
that
a
beneath
subservient
you?
idiot.
Is
But
that
I'm not going
beneath
to do that.
you?
What?
Wait a minute. Is that beneath you? Is that beneath you?
No, but that's what you guys meme on.
No,
You guys meme
no,
on
it's
baristas.
not. People do what they have to do to survive. You, on
Okay,
the other hand,
I know-
want
I
us
know-
to take care of you.
You know what?
You want
I'm-
us to take
I'm
care
gonna,
of you.
I'm gonna get an HSA card. I'm gonna put $10 a month in it. Is that gonna make you feel better?
No, that's still bullshit. You want us to take care of you, Pickle.
Hey, David,
Because
do you know
here's
what?
the thing.
Cool,
When you come
we don't
down with
care.
something, you're gonna cry. If I
How
can
does that
sit you
hurt
on the
you?
street,
How does that hurt you?
Because
How
we
does
have
that
to
hurt you?
pay for
You
it,
just
you
laughed
dumbass.
about passing on debt to your children. Guess what? When I get hurt, we're just gonna pass that on to our children. It does not affect you. You do
You
not get a
are.
bill in the mail.
You
do
actually
not get a
are.
bill in the mail, bub.
You actually are going to do that.
You do not get a bill in the mail. When I go to the hospital, do you think you have to pay for
super
it?
chatted $5.
Yes.
Should Trump pack the court like the left has been asking
You're gonna
for
get
the
a bill
past
for it.
4 years?
Yes, we have to pay for it.
No, you're not gonna get a bill for it. You're pretending
Jesus
like this affects you.
Pickles. What do you
It's
think
not.
they do? They write
It
your
does
bill
not.
off?
Yes,
you're
they,
nice?
they do. They write it
They
off.
write your bill
yes.
off.
Yes.
Write your bill off.
Yes.
Or put your head around it. Do they charge people more that have insurance?
Okay, no. They
Cover you.
what they
We'll
what they
cover
do
you.
what they do is
What
they
they do
gouge
is
your
just wipe their
insurance
ass
company.
with a bill.
Yes, they gouge your insurance company for it. I'm sorry that maybe
Yeah,
the billionaire
so what do
that
we
own-
pay now? Do we pay
David.
more rates?
David, if you're worried about what people pay for medical
Oh,
medical
personal
care,
responsibility.
stop
Get
voting for the right. Stop
Get
voting
some
right.
personal responsibility.
Stop it.
You're a
David.
35-year-old grown adult.
Yeah,
Stop
David, do
it.
you know what class collaboration is?
Nope, nor do I care. So,
Well, I'm gonna explain it to you anyways
I
because you're
don't
fucking
need it.
stupid.
I don't need it.
Okay,
bigot
well then you
man.
can leave.
I
You
don't
can
need it,
leave, and
bigot
I'll
man.
explain it to everybody else then,
I
because it's
don't-
what you're doing
just
right
some
now.
Bullshit thing.
What you're
Here's
doing
my
is you're
question.
undermining the value of
I'm worried
Pickle's
about the
labor.
corporate
Okay.
taxes,
You're-
right?
you're
You're
under-
worried about them? Do corporations pay taxes?
Hey man, I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say, or I'm gonna kick you so I can say it. Okay? Which one is it gonna be, bud? Okay. So when you undermine people's value, you try to put them in a class that is lesser than you. So your labor is more valuable. So therefore, you are higher on the social hierarchy in the labor aspect of things, right? And that's what you're doing. You're devaluing his labor for your ability to feel better about your shit life. That's what you're doing,
Right,
David.
right.
You get that?
Let's all do what he does. Let's just all do that.
I don't
That's
suggest
not
it. I
how
don't suggest
Let's
it.
just all do that.
I don't
Let's just
suggest
all
That's
it.
not
do
how
it.
society works, man.
I don't
Why
suggest
not?
it because I will only
Why?
receive emergency care, not preventative, or not care if I fall into like a very serious illness. They're not going to help me.
Oh, well, you can get Medicare then.
No, because I'm
Medicaid.
employed.
You can get Medicaid.
I make too much money.
Well, you won't. You'll stop. You'll quit your job. You'll stop
That's not
earning.
how that
money.
works,
Dude,
you fucking
You'll stop
pumpkin.
earning
You
money and
don't
you'll
you don't have a
qualify.
hard stance on any of this. You're just being facetious, dude.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
just
just,
tell
you're
you,
just trying to fucking hurt
Tic
people's
Tac will
feelings.
show
And
you
you can,
how to
you
get
can
Medicaid.
literally fuck yourself, man. You can go.
He will
fuck
show
yourself.
you. He will show you.
All right, David, I've
Show
had
you
enough
what?
for today.
How
I've
to
had
have a
enough.
disability?
For you to talk down on us, and especially Tic Tac, who you have no idea what Tic Tac's going through. You have no idea. You really should be careful about what you say, dude. It's not okay.
Yeah. It's alright, man. I get a lot of shit. Tic Tac was rude. Yeah, I am. Get the fuck up here, Trinity.
Chat, if you're a Trump supporter, hop in the box. If you're not a Trump supporter, please hop out. If you're friendly, please hop out of my box. I do have a few people in the box. We're gonna move on to our next debate soon. Guys, don't forget to give me a follow. I also have Cash App and Venmo in the bio. If you guys want to kick one of these guests, it is $40. It is that high because I don't want people to be kicked every 5 seconds. I want to be able to talk to them for a bit. Inflation. Plus, yeah, they scale
The
with
money's
Trump's
nice,
tariffs.
but we do
Yeah.
need the debates for the platform.
Hello.
Yellow, are you a Trump supporter?
So really quickly, I voted for Kamala Harris. I'm here to talk about a couple different things. Is that all right if we just talk about a couple of Trump policies that I thought were good, or do you want me to leave? I don't want to lead you on.
Damn it. No, Trump supporters only. Sorry. Guys, don't forget to follow TikTok. TikTok.
So I'm confused. Why don't you have health insurance? You make money. I'm just confused why you wouldn't want that.
Is that what you want to talk about? My health insurance?
Well, I'm just confused why
I'm
that's
gonna allow you to stay confused about that because it's personal. What do you want to do? You want to talk about Trump?
Well, I mean, I like Trump with his small government policies. I like that he likes small government. I like that.
I don't know what that even means.
What small government means?
Yeah, so like he's increasing your taxes, so it's not small government in that way or shape or form. We do get less services with Trump in office. We have less smaller. We have less federal government functions such as USAID.
I love that. Yeah, I love less
you don't
federal funding. Yeah, I love that.
No, you're misunderstanding. Trump is raising your taxes.
I would pay.
You would pay more to have
taxes.
less.
I would pay more taxes. Yes, correct.
To have
I would
less.
pay more. I would pay more taxes to have everyone else do something. Yes.
You would pay for people
I don't understand that.
to have to work more or something.
Correct. I
would-
would pay
You
more
just like
taxes.
to see people suffer. What is it?
No, I would pay more taxes to have everyone do
More
their
people
fair
work.
share, like you're saying, citizenship,
What?
not be a freeloader. So, like,
Yeah.
what I'm saying is,
So your premise is people who are receiving government benefits are freeloaders.
I didn't say receiving government freeload, but I said less federal government input. If the community wants to put that, if the state
So
and your county and your local government wants to help
let me
out
get this.
those,
If
the community, yes.
if you were a politician, what would your slogan be? Pay more taxes, get less from us.
Oh yeah, absolutely. My slogan would be do something. Don't rely on me. Do
Okay.
something.
Did you know that historically, since the end of the Cold War, Republicans have created one job for every 50 jobs Democrats have made?
There's plenty of jobs. There's no issue with jobs.
I'm not asking you if there's plenty of jobs. I'm telling you, if you like people working, you should vote Democrat.
Totally, totally not true.
Did you
Democrat
know?
Democrat
Did you know
hires more jobs.
75%?
Listen, Democrats hire, you're right, Democrats do hire more people, which creates more channels of more people not doing anything.
What?
Okay. Did you know
Why are you confused about
75%?
that?
Cool. 75% on government programs actually have at least a part-time job. Did you know that? But they still qualify for government programs because the corporations who make billions don't pay them enough to survive, so they have to get handouts from the government.
Hold on.
Did you know that? Did you know that?
I mean, I could play
No,
the system
okay.
too. I could work and make $12,000 a year, and I could play the system if I wanted to. However,
So, wait, now your argument is people are intentionally making themselves poor so they can get what? Handouts that are like minimal?
correct. Yeah. If
Oh,
the
so
government,
so
the
if I
government
keep
can-
myself poor, I can become just a little less poor with government handouts instead of just going to work full time and making
you
more
just
money?
answered it. Absolutely.
Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
You're gonna have to
You
show
just
me where
answered
the
it.
fuck that happens.
You just answered it. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, cool. Show me where that happens.
All right.
Absolutely. Just like if I have 5 children and I don't get married, I get a lot more tax benefits and a lot more benefits and a lot more money.
Oh, oof.
So
Is that-
are you? I don't know. Do you say that people should just get married?
Wait, why
Or
are
do
you
wanna
taking that?
Do you want to change the? Do you want to change the way the law works? So like, I don't know. This is a fickle thing, right?
Correct.
Because you're
Correct.
talking about kids. Kids can't control whether or not they go hungry or not, right?
So correct, I would change the law that, guess what? After your second unwedded or unsignificant other or unable to provide for a child, yes, the government cuts you off. Correct.
Because of
Who?
your marital status.
Let's touch on the reality of what he's saying.
No.
No.
It's based off of
We're going to
what
talk
your
about what
last
you're
guest-
saying.
It's
Hey,
based
man.
off what your last guest
Okay,
was
cool.
stating.
If
That
everybody,
you don't
all
need to
the
rely
people,
on other people. You don't need to rely on the federal government.
Okay, cool. So, out of all the marginalized groups of people in America, the laws you're talking about specifically, which group of people would that disproportionately affect?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who it's going to affect.
Oh. So that law in particular would disproportionately affect certain groups of people in this country. Why would you want to pass that law against certain
Why
groups of
do
people?
you bring in? Why are you bringing in race to me saying?
Who
people
said
need
something
to-
about race? I said
You just
marginalized
did.
communities. I said
just said
marginalized
marginalized
communities.
communities.
Why did you say race? I'm playing your game.
Because that's what
you
you're.
see?
I've seen you guys.
So
I've
this
heard
is
you
what
guys.
this is what's called a dog whistle, when you're saying things without actually saying them, but those who are listening, they can hear what you're saying. Do you know who Lee Atwater is?
Lee Atwater. No.
Yeah. Lee Atwater was a political strategist for Ronald Reagan and for Richard Nixon, and this was during the civil rights, and he put it out pretty basically what you're saying.
Ronald Reagan
He
was
said
great.
he said in the 1950s it's okay to say the N-word. We can say the N-word during our campaign speeches because people are okay with us saying the N-word. And then all of a sudden in the 1970s you can't say the N-word anymore, so we have to say other things. So other things we say are things like forced busing, welfare queen, states' rights. These are ways to literally blame black people without actually saying the term black people or N-word.
Who's blaming
This
black
is literally
people
what you're
in
doing.
any of this conversation?
You are saying we need to make laws against people, and you're pointing at people who are on welfare, who it's
No,
going
not
to
make laws
disproportionately
against
affect.
people.
So you're
Not make
saying
laws
the
against
welfare queens are our problem. That's what you're
Hold
saying.
on.
The poorest people in this
I also want
country.
to dissect this. I also want to dissect this.
No, I
The-
didn't say the welfare queens. I said you shouldn't have. It shouldn't go up to 5 children.
This is okay. This is the biggest nothing burger ever, right? So the big bad boogeyman of the right for decades has been people who freeload off the government, right? And when we look at things like what that means to you, that means you want to pay less taxes. That means you hate paying for other people's well-being, right? And if I were to ask
What are you talking about? Less taxes. If you make $700,000 and you make $700,000, you're paying 37% federal tax. So
Okay,
automatically, Automatically.
I highly doubt that. I highly doubt that's your effective tax rate.
That is your effective tax rate. It's $700,000. So
Okay.
what do you claim as rich? I'm just wondering.
Anybody making over 400K? Anybody? Do you know what the poverty line is? Do you know what the average income for a United States citizen is? It's like 50
I don't
grand.
care what. Here's the thing. I don't care what the poverty line is because
Okay,
if you
but
go
we're
to
gonna
high
talk
school,
about it.
listen, I don't care what it is because if you go to high school, you get a free education from your free government. Okay, you don't have a baby. You don't have a baby. You get a job. I don't care if it's minimum wage right after, and you have a significant other who also is working. Guess what? You're going to be above that poverty line that you're talking about.
Oh man, that's great. That's amazing.
And then if you actually apply some of that free education and you go and get a free trade, like a plumber.
A free
okay?
trade?
Correct. Trade schools are free. Yes.
Trade schools are free?
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
That's a wild take.
It's not wild. There's grants. There's scholarships.
Oh God, the things that Trump's cutting.
Oh, okay. So not free. Not free. You have to qualify for grants and scholarships. Not free though.
No, you don't have to qualify. What are you talking about qualify? Again, if
You
make
have to
over
qualify for
Oh my
grants and
gosh, if-
scholarships.
Yeah,
Holy
so if you,
fuck,
what you're
dude.
talking about, if you make over $100,000 a year, you're not qualifying for scholarships. You're paying for that. You're taking out loans and paying.
Well, that's two different things. You were talking about somebody who is on literally minimum wage, having to qualify for grants and scholarships, and then you used a different example of somebody making over 100,000. Man,
Well, that's
this
what
is
I'm saying.
weird. Can you? You're not saying shit.
It's not
You're
weird.
saying jack shit.
It's not weird. If you
Okay,
make the minimum wage, I'm saying you can get above and beyond.
We got off the rails. What I was eventually alluding to was the fact that you're so worried that a mother of like 5 kids gets a little bit of extra money because she has 5 goddamn motherfucking kids.
No, I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried
Yes,
about
you
it.
are.
Great.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Great,
You're
but what are
worried
her
about.
kids?
You're worried about.
What are
I'm
you going to
sorry,
have the
I'm
school
sorry.
system
Hold
raise
on,
her kids?
Hold on. I'm talking about what your financial responsibility to the government is in regards to or for social safety nets like this. In the average wage of American that I was using in this model, $56,000. You're paying roughly $300 in taxes to feed those families. That's what you're worried about. You want to shave that down to $295
No,
or
dude,
$290 or
dude,
$200
dude, if
so that
you're-
you could sleep
listen,
better
if-
at night. That's it.
If
That's
you're
what
making,
you're crying about.
If you're making $56,000 as a single individual, you are in the worst tax bracket. You're in the worst tax bracket. You're bringing home about 37 grand.
Okay, I'm not talking
what
about
you're
how
bringing
much you
home.
get to bring home. If you want to dissect what that looks
So,
like,
okay,
you're
so
looking,
let's just do the math.
shut the
Let's do the
fuck
math.
up.
A
Hold
single
on.
individual.
I'm talking about what the breakdown looks like, where your taxes go to. And if you don't like paying so much goddamn it taxes, maybe you should look up how much of that goes to the military. The $1 trillion we pay yearly for the military already, Trump is exploding that with this fucking dumb golden dome shit. And then
I would
let's
love to
talk
pay
about
more for the military is what protects us and the world.
You're a simp. I get it.
This dude works
No,
at
I'm not a
Arby's, I
simp.
swear to God.
I'm not a simp. If we did not have our U.S. military, the world would not be what it is today.
I get it. And you just like the general nature of the world rather than having like hungry families eat. I get that.
It's just not realistic.
Got it.
That's just not realistic.
Yeah.
What,
and
people eating isn't realistic?
$5,000 $5,000 a year to the government for the military is way better than your $300 to go to families.
Just like what you're saying right now. You're saying you're up here right now. It's not realistic that everyone is going to be rich. It's not realistic.
I don't want them all to be rich.
But
I
I'm
don't
just
want
saying,
everybody to
it's
be
not,
rich.
Who
it's
said
not-
they need to be rich, dude? Who said that? Who suggested that? We're
well-
literally saying people should eat.
Again, we are blessed.
Again.
We are blessed.
Can
in
you
the
can you
United
address what we just said? We're not talking about everybody should be rich. We are talking about everybody should have food. 2,500 calories a day.
You're
Is
talking
that
about
bad?
everyone in the United States or everyone in the
Yes,
world?
100%. Let's start with the United States. We'll work on the 800 billion people later. Let's
Okay,
start
so
with the United States.
start
Everybody.
from-
So address what we're saying. Everybody in America should eat. Correct?
So start from square one. Yes, absolutely.
fuck.
Everyone should work, or everyone should.
No,
eat.
did I say
apologize.
work?
No, you didn't. Everyone should eat. I apologize for that. Absolutely, everyone should eat. 100%. But here's my question for you guys. You guys talk about tax the rich. You talk about all this stuff. What is the answer for everyone to eat in the United States? What's your answer?
We literally throw away more food in America. We could feed 10 billion people, 2 billion more people than
Okay.
are
We
in
could
the
we
world
could do it step by
every
step.
day.
We could do it step
What
by
is
step.
your
So
what
like
is your answer though?
free lunch for kids at school. Boom.
That's already done in a majority of the schools. That's
Okay,
done.
no, it's not. And in fact, in red
Yes, it
states,
is.
they're rejecting it.
North Carolina, it's Title I schools. Every kid eats for free. And you're telling
They
me
don't.
they do. Title I schools, everyone eats for free.
Then why
Breakfast-
is this a big deal?
breakfast
Why
and
are
lunch.
they literally voting at a federal level against this? If everybody is
I'm-
already doing it,
I'm
why are
also-
they voting against the? Hey man, I'm asking a question, and after I'm done with that question, I want you to shut the fuck up while I'm asking it. First of all,
I'm also
but I want you
against
to I want you to address the question I'm asking. Why
Ask it.
are they fighting it at a federal level? They are denying this at a federal level. If all kids are eating for free already, why are we fighting for this?
I would also deny it. Where's the buy-in? I'm also going to deny it.
I
because there
didn't
has
ask
to be
what you would
some
do.
buy-in.
I ask if it's already, bro. You are making a statement. All kids can eat free at school. My
Title I
argument
schools, I
towards
said.
you.
I said Title I schools, low socioeconomic schools.
So you want all kids to eat for free then? All kids in America eat free.
No, I don't. I just said I don't. I just
Why
told
not?
you that Title I schools they do.
You don't. Why? I'm not asking you what Democrats have done for you. I'm asking you what should be.
Okay, so you didn't give me but when I asked that question, you didn't give me an answer. What is the answer to fix the hunger problem? Why is schools? You went back to schools. Like, why is the government the answer to fix the
He
problem?
said that's the first
Because
step.
we're the richest
Feed
country on
kids at
earth,
school.
and we should start looking like it. And if you guys keep having this tough man mentality, like you need to work, you need to pay for your own meal, that's fucking dumb. That is holding us back.
It's not about that. You can have help. Like, the programs are there to help you, right? If you lose your job, what's the program?
Unemployment,
Unemployment. How long does unemployment last?
6 months.
6 months. Is 6 months not enough for you to then acquire and get on your feet and find a job?
It could
Is that
be.
not enough?
What are we? Why are we talking about that?
I'm
Yeah,
just
why
I'm
are-
just
why-
talking about
We're
that's
not
a
talking
government
about kids in
program?
school now. That's all.
No, I talk about kids in school, but that's a program
okay.
I'm for. That gets cut
So
off at
you
6
said
months.
you said you don't want to feed kids in school.
No, I didn't say I don't want to feed kids at school. I'll
No,
give
you
you an
did.
example. No,
You
I
did.
didn't.
You said bullshit.
I
You
said-
said you would vote against it.
I said I'm against free.
Okay.
Yes, I said I'm against
That's
free.
not
yeah.
what. That's not what you're changing it. We said kids should eat for free at school, not free. Stop adding shit. You're very disingenuous.
No,
we
I'm
said
not.
kids should eat for free at school, and you said no. I would vote against that.
I
That's
would.
exactly what you
Again,
said. Okay.
again, I
and then
would.
so we say
Why?
kids should eat for free at school, and you're like, yeah, you're literally two-facing
Why?
this, man.
No,
Why would you
I
vote
am.
against that?
I am against it, and why I am
Why?
against it is because, well, you just look at, you look at the school budgets and how they like you said, how much food gets thrown away, how much they waste with kids who are eating for free. The kids who are eating for free are not eating the school lunch. The food gets thrown away. So who is monitoring that?
How
right?
do you monitor
You're-
how much?
you're literally
how,
just-
what are you just?
Exactly.
How do you monitor what's
He's
getting
making
thrown
this
away?
up,
What
dude.
statistic are you looking at?
There
Entertain this.
isn't
Making
there
this
is
shit up.
Okay, so you're just
Yeah,
fucking
right.
yapping.
no. I'm not making it up.
You're just
You are.
yapping. There's too much
I'm not-
food
They
that gets
didn't-
thrown away,
they
so
didn't eat
nobody
all
gets
the
free
fu-
lunch. That's what you're saying.
Because they threw away their crust.
It's
They
giving
didn't eat
Stephen
it.
No.
Miller.
No, I'm saying you asked why I'm against it. I said that's why I'm against it.
Because you
There's-
just made up a thing. There's no statistic for.
Oh, I'm sure you could look up statistics of
I'm-
wasted cafeteria food.
Okay.
I'm sure you could.
All right, but you never have. You're just making this up.
I'm making it. I don't have data. I'm making
Got
it
it.
of
So yes.
observation. Observation.
So nobody gets free
First-
food because
first-hand
I have
knowledge.
this idea in my head that people throw away free food.
They wasted the chocolate milk.
Well, it goes back to the bigger picture of the budget, right? Of the budget.
No,
You
it
have
doesn't.
Let's talk about
No, it
that.
doesn't.
Let's talk about the
So-
bigger picture of the budget. Let's
the
look
bigger
at
picture of the budget.
Here's
if
the
you look at
budget. You see that green? That's the military. Do you see the fucking education right there? It's that slither. That's what you're scrutinizing. You're scrutinizing that. Because you're a fucking
no,
idiot.
I'm currently scrutinizing because we're talking about education. I'm currently scrutinizing how you can have a fixed budget and still with that fixed budget of something as simple as education, and they can mess it up. Big government can mess it up.
Okay, big government is all you got. You're just like, oh, there's just this big thing that I can't comprehend all the way. It must be so complex. There has to be problems with it, and therefore we should just never do it because I'm
No, so the
incompetent. Therefore,
answer-
everyone else is.
The answer is, and the answer that y'all came up for with, I'll give you an example. The bill was on the table for North Carolina schools to make their school districts smaller. The bill was on the table. It got crushed. It didn't pass, right? It's not going to pass. Why is it not going to pass? Because guys like you say you can't pass that bill, you can't split up the county because then that county will be segregated. That's the reason.
Wait, are you talking? So North Carolina just lost a very large case with the Supreme Court of the United States. They were found guilty of gerrymandering so bad that the Supreme Court of the United States called it surgical precision. They were disenfranchising black voters within their state. Is this the same? Is this what you're talking about?
What are you talking about, disenfranchising black voters? What are you talking about?
Yeah, the Supreme Court of the United States it was 2 years ago.
Is it like
3
a
years
voting
ago at
district?
most. Yeah, they were
Yeah, so what they
gerrymandering
do
voting
is-
districts. They're
yeah.
doing the same thing with fucking
So
schools.
they group up like a whole like county of black people, and they say, okay, this is its own voting block. Therefore, it counts like it counts. It doesn't really count in the big picture of things, right? So like you can
you're
make
talking about for
30. You
districts?
can chop up a county of like 30. One county of white people into like 30 blocks and have it count as 30 votes, and then group all together one black county because 90% of all black people vote Democrat, and they group it all together as one, so it's 30v1. Like, you get the picture? Do you see how gerrymandering
Yeah, no,
works?
I see that.
That's what
Yeah.
they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, North Carolina has one of the, don't quote me on this, but one of the largest black populations of the United States.
Yeah, and
Look
that's how they
and
gerrymander the votes.
They can still
Look at it.
gerrymander that, right?
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
see that. I don't see that happening. Like
You
North
don't
Carolina,
see that happening.
Raleigh,
The
Raleigh,
Supreme Court
look,
saw
Raleigh,
it happen, bro.
Raleigh is blue. All the major cities are blue. Raleigh's blue. Charlotte's
No.
blue. Winston-Salem's blue.
And I bet
That's
you if
why
we
they
look at a
gerrymander
map,
them.
there's a whole bunch of
Greensboro's
farmers
blue.
with empty land that get 1,700 times the voting power than a fucking giant city of black people. I bet you if we look at it
No,
right
that-
now, that's what happens.
Yeah, you'd have to show me all the data
Okay.
on that as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the same thing as my lunch. That's the same thing as my lunches.
Okay,
But back to
well,
back to
let's do it.
North Carolina. Look it up and look at what they're doing with that schools. And again, if you had
we're explaining
smaller-
to you what they're trying to do, and they're fighting it. That's why.
and
the
they
bill
should have smaller school districts because look up. It's just fun. I read in the paper. Look up Winston-Salem, Forsyth County schools, and if they can mess up the budget that bad, when it's a fixed budget, please tell me why anybody should trust the federal government who's in charge of the
I
whole
don't know.
United States.
I don't know. Look at Trump. Look what you guys did to our budget this time. You guys
But
are
that's what I'm
you guys
saying.
are the absolute worst with the budget. Period.
That's
You guys
that's
should
what
never
I'm
be
saying.
trusted near a budget ever. The Republicans should never be allowed towards the presidency ever for the rest of time after this budget. It's sick. It's just disgusting.
Running in full circle. That's what I'm saying for small.
No, you're just saying everybody,
government.
but we can see they did this with surgical precision to help rich people, not because they're just so incompetent that they just can't figure it out. No, it's because they fucking want to give all of our tax dollars to rich people.
I looked at that map. Who's rich in the northern part of of North Carolina
Here
right
we
there? Where
go.
is that?
North Carolina judges slammed.
That's not
guilty
Wilmington, that's-
Hold on, man. Hold on. For gerrymandering.
Look at the way
reject
it's drawn.
district maps. Yeah. A panel of 3 judges in North Carolina threw out the state's legislative district maps on Tuesday, ruling that the maps were such an extreme partisan gerrymandering that they violated the state's constitution. Lawmakers' partisan intent in drawing the maps, the surgical precision with which they were executed, in the district advantage the maps gave to Republicans violated the state's constitutional right of free elections, free speech and assembly, and equal protection under the law, the judges wrote. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
That's literally what you're talking about right now.
No, again, that has nothing to do with school districts. No, I don't know what that. I don't even know what that is regarding. You're saying voting.
Well,
how do you think lines are drawn up?
Oh my
man?
God,
How do
dude.
you think the district? How do you think that stuff works, bud? How do you think they draw up lines so that way schools get tax money? For the
Okay, so no
property?
shit.
Right, okay.
So no
right,
shit.
Right.
So
So
if
you're
I
kind of
do-
understanding how it works now. So like when they
Yes,
draw up
so
those
no shit.
lines, they can disproportionately affect one group of people over the other. And if they're pushing back on that at the state level, that's exactly what they're saying they're doing. With surgical precision, they're
Oh, see,
disproportionately
this is the issue.
disenfranchising
This-
some groups over the other.
Again, this
Pay
is
the
the issue.
fuck attention, dude.
And this is why Trump won again. Because if you have kids and you're looking at it big picture that way, and you don't care where your kids are going to school, then fine, you're just going to go wherever you're going. But if you do care, you're going to move in to a high tax area, a wealthier area, and have them go to a better school.
Dang, it must be nice
You
to be
will
able to
move
afford
for
high
your
tax
kids.
areas. It must be real
Well,
nice.
Did I just not tell you good decisions and people
Good
like that are
decisions?
going to
Yeah, so
Correct.
just simply being on the path
People
of
like
good
that,
decisions, it's a
he says?
no-brainer, guys. All you have to
Listen,
do is
I
make good
gave you-
decisions, and then you can afford
gave-
high tax rates.
I gave you a solution, right? I gave you a solution
No, you
of
didn't.
don't have
Good
kids.
solutions is a
I
pipe
said-
dream.
I
Don't
said
have kids
it's
is
not
also...
a pipe dream.
D-
What do you
good-
mean
no.
it's a pipe dream?
All right,
Pull
TikTok,
yourself
I'm
up
gonna,
by the
TikTok,
bootstraps is
I'm
what
gonna
he said.
1v1 this guy.
What hold on. What do you think? What do you think? What do you mean that it's a dream? It's a dream.
You
I
just
just don't get
saying
that.
good decisions will allow you to live above the poverty level if it's that easy for you. I'm sorry,
Correct.
but that's not how
Correct.
it works. And also,
Please tell
what
me.
you're
Okay, you're
the-
30. You're
the
34.
part of
Go
your
back and look at
plan-
your decisions.
Part of your plan is to not have kids. That also is fucking up our entire economy. Being in population decline fucks up Social Security, it fucks up Medicare, Medicaid, it fucks up all of these things, as well as our labor force. If that's part of your plan for the American dream, you can see how that doesn't work.
Well, did
And
I,
also
did I
taking
say
away
not?
abortion access in the same time, it's fucking incoherent.
Did I say there's not take? Did I say to not have kids?
Yeah, you said part of your
I said
plan...
to make good decisions.
No, your whole archetype for being above the poverty line included having no kids and marrying somebody.
No, I didn't say marrying someone. I said having a significant other.
Yes, you did. You said
I also
okay,
said
whatever
yes.
if it's
Hey,
marrying somebody or not.
hey,
being
finish
with
high
somebody
school
else,
without having a kid. Yes, finish high school without having a kid.
Okay, so don't live in the Bible Belt or any conservative state because they don't teach sex ed and they more likely will lead you to have a teen pregnancy.
Again, what's your solution? Why aren't you going around and having parental conversations with people to say, hey, do not allow your kids to engage in sex if we can't afford a kid?
Gee, I don't know. Maybe it's because Republicans are going around screaming from the top of the fucking rooftop saying, these people are trying to teach my kids about sex and everybody's trying to perverse my kid. You guys are
Well, here's
so
the thing,
worried
they're-
about having those conversations with your kids that you guys
Pickles.
have teen pregnancies.
Pickles, they're not teaching what I just told you
Yes, I
about
know.
making
I
good
know they're not.
decisions.
I know
They're not. They're teaching sex ed, which is whatever. Hey, I'm for that. Teach sex ed. That's fine. But
Okay, we'll
they
talk to
should
your
bring-
Republican friends.
they should be bringing in people, and there's an age appropriate range where they should be teaching that as well.
You're
But
gonna
bring
have to
in
point. You're gonna have to point to any sex education program that does non age appropriate sex ed for you to say that
But then-
that's what we're proposing.
But what I'm saying is, if you want to be solutions to actual problems, bring in someone who has struggled, a 22-year-old or a 32-year-old who had a teen pregnancy. Bring them in and have them talk to teens, which teens are going to say the same thing anyway, because that's what we do as teens. We're going to be
Sure.
like, that's not
Okay.
me.
This is the,
We
okay,
don't care
your
about that.
idea of this new sex ed program. It sounds like a fourth grader drew it up. That's not going to work. We're going to have to somehow convince all of these Bible Belt fucking idiots, conservatives,
you guys,
to stop
that's the
doing
problem
this.
with you guys and like just the blue ideas. You don't like solutions, but here's your
we have
solution.
the solutions. We have the states that don't have high teen pregnancy. We have them. You
Okay.
listen to us. I don't need to listen to you about this.
Right? What do you mean you have the states that don't have teen pregnancy?
We are the states. The blue states are the ones with sex ed, the way that doesn't
What are you
lead to
talking
teen
about? Who doesn't have
pregnancy.
teen pregnancy?
We are the ones with the least teen pregnancy.
In what states? I'm just curious. What states?
I'll
You're
show
pulling
you.
up data for for teen pregnancy?
Yes, yes. The Bible Belt is the capital of teen pregnancy.
And then I want to see what teen pregnant I don't care what the state is. I want to see their parents. What do their parents do?
Why?
It's about parenting.
Okay.
Why?
They probably go
Because
to
it's about
church. That's probably
parenting.
what they do.
It's about parenting.
Here you go.
You're again putting the pressure back
You
on the
see
school
that?
to teach.
You see that? You see that pink map? You see how all these deep pink things have a lot more teen pregnancy than the blue states? You see that? You see how that looks like that? Gee, I wonder what it is.
Again, I could care less who's running the state. Again, because I'm saying I'm caring about what are the parents. What are the parents doing? That goes back to having the parent having a purpose.
Okay, the reason we can't rely on parents to teach people about
Yes,
sex ed.
please tell me. Please
Yeah,
tell me. Why can't we rely on parents?
Because 80-something% of SA happens from within the household, so we have to teach them outside the household.
No, it doesn't. It happens.
Yes, it does.
It happens if it's a broken house.
No,
Abuse happens. Yes, it does.
Okay, it
Abuse
happens from a family member. It happens from somebody
No,
close.
No. Look at the percentages of abuse. Who's having the most abuse on children? It's from a family, a step parent,
Dang, inside the house, right?
Yeah, but again,
damn.
that's a broken home. That's a broken home. You
So
just
go
proved
around
my
and tell people
point.
not to have divorces. Let's see. What's also the capital of divorce rates? What part of the country is also the capital of divorce rates, bro?
Hey, so the likelihood, again, your solutions aren't solutions. The likelihood of a child getting abused by a step parent or a boyfriend or someone in the house are much, much higher because it is not their child.
Damn. It's also sometimes because they go to church too. But here you go. Here's divorce rates by state.
Oh my gosh, you're talking about Catholic priests?
No, it doesn't have to be Catholic. Look at this. It's also you guys in the same states with divorce rates. So it looks like you guys can't stop divorcing either. So
I don't
looks
know
like
why
maybe
you
you
keep
should
saying
just
you
take
guys and this and that.
maybe
I'm
you should
saying
take
we.
notes. Maybe you should take notes from blue states and how they teach sex ed instead of your silly ideas.
I'm saying it does not have that doesn't have any impact.
Yes, it does.
That has no impact.
Yes, it does.
The
You guys
broken-
are going around
the
crying
broken
about how
homes-
we are trying to do sex ed to kids, and you have this weird idea about how it's not people in the household and how we should just do abstinence and go around and tell people to stop divorcing each other.
I didn't say. Did I say abstinence? I'm not going to force abstinence on. I don't think.
Okay,
you
well,
should have
that's what the
sex.
archetype looks like in red states. You guys teach abstinence.
No public school is teaching abstinence. Not
No,
any
I know,
public school.
I know, but red states don't want them to teach anything. They just say, "Hey, stop doing that. No spots are secret, and only God can teach you about that. Learn that shit in Bible school."
No. Again, no public school is saying only God can do that. No public school is doing that.
No, I know. Parents are.
Good.
Well,
That's good
the
parenting.
outcomes. We can see the outcomes, and you're obviously not for it. So it's
No,
bad.
the data can be whatever the data is. If look up teen pregnancy in 2-parent homes of I don't know how you would word it, but teen pregnancy of 2-parent.
I'm good. Kat, thank you for the $40. Kick. That guy had no solutions. He had complaints. That's it. Nothing that the Republican Party does leads to solutions to any of these things he's talking about. I am not having it today. I'm not having it. Chat, don't forget to follow the stream. Cat, K-A-T, Cat. Thank you, Cat. W-Cat's in the chat. I love this error for you. I don't care what the data says. Yeah. It's always Republicans who lose debates. Their final... This is how you know they're losing. They say the words, "See, this is why you guys lost." They don't really have an argument. They just like start talking about the way you're destroying them in an argument. Or they say, "I don't care about data." You can skew data? Give me a break. They didn't skew it for this conversation. I'm looking at this conversation. They didn't know I was going to have this conversation. I'm pulling up multiple sets of data to back what I'm saying. Chat, if you're a Trump supporter, hop in the box. If you're a friendly, get out of the box. How will this affect LeBron's legacy? We'll have to see, guys. It's a lot easier to lie without data than it is with data. It's true. Yellow.
TikTok. Oh, so Donna not in today, huh? Nope. So Liz.
I don't know what kind of accent that was, but I liked it. Hello, is this a Trump supporter?
Yes.
Okay, what do you like about Trump? Hello? Did I fix my fridge yet? I don't have a working fridge. I get a new one soon. My landlord's buying a new fridge soon. So I have to go walk to downtown and get food. Which is a whole measly like 3 minutes. Well, you learn about abstinence in high school in Texas. I was also taught abstinence in Texas. I was taught abstinence in like 4th grade too. They're not loading. Yeah, I know. I'd be giving landlord meal receipts. I'm not one of those people. I just choose my battles. I choose my battles. I'm in North Carolina. They do not have free school lunches. Which counties in NC do not have free lunches? I don't even know if they do it by county. North Carolina does mostly have free lunch school programs, is what Google says. And they do the CEP instead of the other one, the NSLP. I might do that. I have lemonade. Chat, tap the screen. If you're a Trump supporter, come tell me why you like Trump. Let's try to get to like 100K. Maybe we can get some more people in here. I got a little too heated that last time. They teach abstinence, but nobody listens, of course. Yeah, I know. I mean, obviously, we have the people who don't believe that SA happens in your own home. Therefore, they're going to continue teaching, like trusting parents to teach sex ed, and then continue to have teen pregnancies. There's no two ways about it. That's the line of logic. I can't do more than one person on my panel, even if they're my favorite people on my panel. It really fucks with my ADHD. There's only 38 states who require to do the Aaron's Law. And listen to this. Here are the states that don't. Florida, Kentucky, Iowa, Kansas, Nebraska, South Dakota, Hawaii, Arizona, Idaho, North Carolina, Wisconsin, and then Massachusetts. I think 2 of those are blue out of 12. 10 red states that don't require it. Which ones are blue? Hawaii and Massachusetts. Arizona's red right now. North Carolina. Is Wisconsin blue? That's it. That's not half. And the blue ones already have their own version of the law. Yeah. Wisconsin's complicated. Florida, Kentucky, Iowa, Kansas, Nebraska, South Dakota, Hawaii, Arizona, Idaho, North Carolina, Wisconsin. Wisconsin's purple. Goodness gracious. All right, I'm going to turn the phone line. YouTube, if you guys are just dying to debate, here's your chance. Boom. The phone line is now up. It's at the top of the screen, YouTube. It's right here. If you guys want to call in, that's the phone number. We will do debates on YouTube. You sent me a message. I usually don't have a good way to read messages while I'm live. Oh, hell yeah. I appreciate you, John. I'm going to check my email while we're waiting. Don't forget your daily heart me to join my team. Thank you for that. What about Trump going to tariffs on all cell phones, not just Apple? Yikes, dude. I mean, someone's got to pay for this big, beautiful tax bill, and that's what's going to do it. We obviously don't have cell phone manufacturing here in the United States, and we won't for years. Even if Apple started right now building facilities to do that, we won't for years. It's a way for Trump to collect taxes. So while Trump gave you no tax on tips and whatever the fuck else you're praising him for, the 1% that he gave the middle class and lower class in his big, beautiful bill, he's giving you a 10% tax on those items. 10, 15, 20, 25% tax on those cell phones. You're going to be paying taxes one way or another. It's just not the way you're used to seeing them. And it's part of the con. It's part of the way he's tricking you. When Trump keeps showing fake pictures and the right believes it, you know there isn't hope. Yeah, I know. When Trump shows a bunch of fake news articles to justify a genocide of white people in South Africa and they still trust him, they still go to him and like, okay, what's the next thing you're going to tell me? Please tell me more. Oh shit, the line wasn't open. I'll try it again. Try it again. Okay, the line's open now. The line's open. You said taxes 700K is okay at 35. You know what? I would love for people that made $700,000 to pay 35% in taxes. Highly doubt there's very many people who do. I would love that. Yellow. Is this a Trump supporter?
Hold on, my friend. How you doing today?
Doing good. Are you a Trump supporter?
100% I am a Trump supporter. Absolutely.
Okay. What do you like about Trump?
I'd actually like to talk about something you were debating another viewer before. You sounded like you were pretty, 110% for how blue states teach sex ed in schools.
Yeah.
Okay. Why do you support that?
Because age-appropriate sex ed also lowers the rate of essay, especially the essay that takes place at home, which is the most common type of essay. So if it's your parents, your friend, family friends, your brother, your sister, that is the most common place for that to happen. So for a third party to be responsible for teaching them like good touch, bad touch, things like that, it ultimately protects children.
Okay. So when the blue states have been promoting throughout all the schools with all the lawsuits and all the actual parents, and let's not even say that these are parents that go to church. I don't go to church. I'm a 40-year-old man. I have 2 children of my own. And it's almost pedophile how the blue states teach sex ed. And I'll give you some examples. Are you a father? Do you have kids? Do you have
No.
siblings, relatives? No? Okay. I'll tell you why I think that. A father's duty, regardless of religion, because I'm religious, I'm spiritual, I don't go to church. It's my duty to teach my son the birds and the bees. It's my wife's duty to teach my daughter the birds and the bees.
You're
right?
cutting out.
Would you agree?
You can opt out.
I'm cutting out.
No, you can opt out of sex ed.
Parents have opted out, and their children have still been subject to these.
Can you show me where that's happening? Where do you see that?
It's all over the internet. It's not my job to show you. It's your job to do the research since you want to claim something.
If you're making
right?
a claim, you got to support your claim.
Not a claim. It's a fact. It's a fact.
All right.
It's a
You
fact.
can't just say a claim is a fact and
So-
then move on.
So, do you agree with the books that tell my little 8-year-old boy that it's okay if he wants to suck a penis?
No.
A book that literally teaches how to give a hand job and how to give blowjobs. Do you
No,
agree
I
with
know-
that?
I
Because
know
these
the
are
book you're
actually in schools.
I know the book you're talking about. That's fine to remove that book. That's fine.
What about all the other books?
I don't know. What about the Bible?
I'm not talking about the Bible. I'm not religious.
Okay, but do you think the Bible should be in schools?
I think that's a personal choice that certain schools can regulate towards. You know, if they're like a religious type of school, then obviously
Okay.
they're going to do
All
that.
right. All right.
I don't read the Bible myself, and I don't think
Can
the
you-
Bible
Can you
Bible
show
over
me?
millions of years has been rewritten by man.
I
So
get-
you know
I
what I
get it.
mean. But that has
There's a-
nothing to do with our discussion. You're
Yes,
trying
it
to
does.
redirect to
Yes, it
something
does.
religious. It has nothing to do with religion.
Yes, it does.
No, it
because
doesn't. It has
Okay,
to do with
let me
moral
make my
compass.
point. Let me make my point. There are entire states like Oklahoma requiring the Bible to be put in classrooms, more specifically the Trump Bible, by the way. But those Bibles do have those types
what's
of
the
things
Trump
in them.
Bible?
The Trump Bible is the Bible with Trump's fucking name on the front that he's making $60 off of that he bought for $3 from China.
Well, listen, man, I'd rather read the so-claimed scripture of God and make my own educated guess on what's right and wrong versus having another person teach my kid that it's okay that if they feel at the age of 8 years old that if they're a female, they can go cut their penis off.
Hold
Are
on.
you aware,
That's
are
not
your
happening.
viewers aware that they were going to pass a bill that was going to make it illegal for parents if your 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old kid said, hey, Dad, I want to chop off my tits and become a man, or hey, Dad, I want to chop off my penis and become a Barbie doll, that they were going to jail parents if they did not seek immediate medical attention to do these mutilations to their children? Do you know?
You're steamrolling. First of all, you're going to have to show me where any blue state or blue
It's
legislature.
all over the internet with
It's
their
all over
bill.
the internet is not a source. You're going to have to tell me
It's
like
all
what.
over the internet. Okay, go check the Congress. Go check the
Go
bills that have
check
been
the
submitted.
Congress?
Go check the
Okay.
bills that have been submitted.
It's not happening. There's no one submitting bills that are trying to push this stuff into schools by law.
110% they were. It's out
they're
there.
not.
All the viewers go do the research because obviously this fool won't take the time to do it.
All right, you have the
Let's
have the
go to
ability to do
another
this.
subject.
You have the ability
Let's
to do
go
this
to
and
another
teach.
subject.
You have the ability to teach my viewers right now what you're
No,
talking about.
every person like you I've debated has fall flat on their face because all you guys do is go on Google and look up fake documents,
Oh
spit
no.
fake information, bro. And if you support the blue state, you're probably a pedophile, dude, because
Got it.
you don't believe in moral compass, bro.
Got it.
You think all of these Antifa groups, all of the immigration, first thing he did when the blue state come over, all right, and mind you, he was a puppet president, was unhinge our borders and open them up to everybody.
Yeah, what law
El
did he do?
Salvador sends
What did
all
he-
of their prison rapists, all
Hold
of their
on.
murderers to
You're
our
steamrolling.
country,
You're steamrolling.
and
Do
that's
you-
cool,
do you-
right?
Do you know what law that was that he undid?
What law he undid? You're
Yeah.
gonna have to specify that question.
What law did Biden undo to open up the borders? Go ahead and tell me.
Dude, what are you talking about? He put a standstill on frickin' the Border Patrol from arresting these people.
What
When
date
people
was
came
that?
over, they made an app
What-
for quick access. You know when people came over, they gave them $10,000 and free
Oh my
iPhones
God.
and
Hold
put
on.
them in
You're-
hotels
you're-
across
okay,
the country?
You just said like three different things. First of all, CBP1, the app you're talking about, was made under Trump. That's a Trump thing. And then second of all, the $10,000 thing, I don't know what to tell you. That's just a straight up lie.
Made up-
New
Well,
Yorkers
look-
got like $12 a day to eat. I don't know if that hurts your feelings, but that's from state
New
taxes.
York is a horrible state.
Oh man.
Don't even reference New York.
Okay, I don't know what to tell you, but you're
Yeah.
gonna have to be more specific. You
New
can't just
York
say all
is
these,
crazy.
You're just saying all of these like propaganda talking points.
100% facts, and anybody who actually wants to treat, go look at actual submitted government bills. Listen to this clown. Don't listen to fake news and media. Go look at the actual documentation that's been submitted to be reviewed, to be passed as a law.
Dang, you got us.
Democrats are evil. You guys are the anti-God, bro. All
Wait.
90% of you.
You
motherfuckers
are Christian?
pedophiles. No, you guys are the anti-God.
Wait,
When did I ever say that I was Christian? Because I made a statement saying you're the anti-God?
no,
You
said
guys
that
are
you weren't.
everything wrong with America. Do you know why there has been so many school shootings? Because the left doesn't want to teach proper fucking
Hold on.
self-control
The-
and
the
emotional
capital-
control, how to
the ca-
deal
the
with their
capital-
emotions.
The capital of school
In
gun-
1985
the
through
capital-
2000,
the capital of gun shootings, the capital of school shootings is the Bible Belt, the Republican-led Bible Belt.
Republican-led Bible Belt? What are you talking about?
Do you know what the Bible Belt is? The group of states that are conservative? That's
This
where all
guy
the
is
school
saying
shootings
here.
happen. That's y'all, not us.
Hey, my man, the school and the education system was the ones teaching these kids to not deal with their own emotions. It had nothing to do with Republicans. Don't even try that misinformation bullshit, bro.
Okay.
I will literally go and send to you every Google document, every absolutely
Oh,
thing
man.
that have been
Can't wait.
submitted and built. Then I bet you won't show it to your viewers.
I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm literally waiting for you to show me
You
one
got it.
thing today.
You got it, brother. You got
You
it,
just
brother.
show me one thing today. I would be stoked.
Awesome. So let's talk about the app that the
CBP
Democrats
one?
made.
The
So where an
CBP one
illegal
app?
could go and sign up and literally cross the border
That
and
was
be
made under
ushered
Trump.
in, given
made under
$10,000, given food cards more than our veterans get. They were
That's
put
CBP
into
one. That was made under Trump.
hotels.
Made
It
under
was not
Trump.
made under Trump. That was made under Democrats and Joe Biden.
Made under Trump. I'm sorry.
Joe
this is happening to
Biden
you.
did that,
I'm so
not
sorry.
Trump. Don't lie to your viewers, bro.
Okay, I'll pull it up right now on my screen.
Go ahead and pull up on the screen where Trump made the app where you could come in through the border
Got it.
and got $10,000 in iPhones, and then
All
you
right.
have all these immigrants destroying these hotels in these places,
Got it.
hotels and
It's-
stuff,
it's on
suing
the
the
screen.
government
It's
because
on the
they have no
screen.
choice but to house these people.
It's on the screen.
Let's go look
It
at
was
your
launched in
Facebook.
October 2020, near the end of Trump. Damn. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, let's go look at your fake news, bro.
Designing travelers I-94 information schedule, perishable cargo inspections, assist
That's
international
not even
orders.
what I'm talking about. You
What
see
app
what
are
I'm
you
talking
talking
about with
about?
your misinformation?
What app are you talking about?
The Democrats made an app and put it online. The Democrats did that shit,
Got it.
bro.
What's the app
The
called?
Democrats are the ones that stopped the fucking
what's the app
building of the
called?
fucking wall.
What's
The
the app called?
Democrats are the ones that fucking immediately opened borders when they came in, dude.
What's the app called?
You and every other content creator that is on this hype train shit, all of you guys are doing is just banking on clout from your stupid streams,
What's the
bro.
app called, my friend?
It's so ridiculous.
What's the app called?
Dude, you guys are the anti-America, bro.
What's the
You
app
guys
called?
are literally the anti-America.
Do you guys
You
have-
guys teach weak
do you guys-
children. You don't teach them morals.
Do you
You
have-
don't teach them how to deal with their own emotions. You don't teach them how to deal with the actual aspects
So
of life.
the person
Instead, what
screaming
you
at
guys
me,
want to
excuse
do
me,
is
excuse
you
me,
want
the
to
person
teach
screaming
kids.
at me, the person screaming at me
I'm not
is
screaming
telling
at
me
you, I'm
that I need
talking.
to learn to regulate my emotions, that Democrats need to
Shit and
teach
false
kids how to regulate their
information.
emotions.
I'm not going to let that shit happen, bro. I'm not going to let that shit happen, bro. You guys are the anti-America, bro.
Yeah,
And I hope
can you
one
tell
day
me-
fucking we get to
Can
meet
you
on
tell
a
me?
field.
Can you tell me
I
which
hope one day,
president?
nigga, we get to meet on a field.
Can you tell me which president said that they don't know if they have to follow the Constitution?
Fucking joke of a dude,
Can
bro.
you tell me? Which president said that they don't have to follow the Constitution, that they're not sure they have to do that? Was it Trump? Chat, was it Trump? Hello, is this a Trump supporter?
No, actually, no. Well, yes and no. I support basically, I support the right thing to be done, no matter who the president is.
Okay. Are you supporting Trump or no?
Well, I voted for him because I want to change. And for the record, I'm neither Republican nor Democrat. I choose no political party. I choose to think for myself and vote on issues that are important. And I'm not going to talk about that same old tired stuff like what is a woman. That's just bait. That's just bait for both sides. That's beat to death.
All right,
as far as
I get it. What do you like about Trump?
say one more time. I didn't hear that, sir.
What do you like about Trump?
Well, honestly, I just like the fact that for better or for worse, everything that he said he was either going to do or try to do, he's working on it.
All right, let's take a look at it, okay?
Mhm.
His first administration, he said he was going to replace the ACA and he was going to write a thing for healthcare. It's been like 9 years. He still hasn't written anything down on a piece of paper for that. He said he was going to have Mexico build the wall and pay for it. So far, he's only passed an executive order that stole money from the Department of Defense that built about 52 miles of wall, and that's it. Then he said he was going to pass an infrastructure bill. Never got it done. Threw it against the wall. And then Biden finally passed one. I don't know. What else has he delivered on?
Well, I mean, let's see here. I'm not going to touch that whole
Lower grocery prices on day one?
Say one more time.
Lowering grocery prices on day one. Did he do that, or did he put tariffs on all of our groceries?
He's done a lot of stuff, but I look at it like this. Each president, cause see, I'm old enough to remember as far back as, Johnson. And all I can say is, for better or for worse, each person, regardless of what, party they're with, they get elected by the people, they get in there, and whether or not they do what they promised, it's a crapshoot. You get what you, like the old saying goes, when you buy something like a car or a stereo or whatever, and you get it home, and it starts fouling up on you right after, well, you get what you paid for.
Okay, I still don't understand. Like, what do you like about Trump? What has he done that you really like?
And well, so far, he's besides the mass deportation, which is a hot topic, he's attempted to for me personally, I'm on disability, so and I've been having to pay taxes on that, so he's cut that out, or he's working on cutting it out. see, I'm not able to work anymore. So when I did work, I paid my taxes just like everybody else. But now that I can't, that
So
extra
now,
money.
now you're just going to be paying taxes through tariffs. So whenever you buy something, you have to pay taxes, and that goes to Trump.
Well, absolutely. Well, with any president, there's going to be tariffs. I mean, and I'm not taking up for him. I'm just stating that no matter
No,
who
like
you have.
Trump's tariffs are like huge. Like he's put tariffs on
Yeah.
everything.
That's true.
Literally everything.
I have a question, and I promise I'm asking only because I want your personal opinion. When Musk first came out, I don't know how many years ago he did, but when he first came out with his car, with the Teslas, lots of people were sitting there saying, okay, all right, this sounds like a great idea. It's going to be the next big thing. It's going to help our economy. It's going to help our environment, all that good stuff. But now that he aligned himself with Trump, what I don't understand is why are Democrats attacking the cars? Because I look at it like this. There's a lot of Democrats out there that bought those cars that believe that are on the Democrat side. They bought them back when it was still, hip and the thing to do. So
when
you
do a Yahtzee salute or anything close to it on the national stage, and then you back the far right party of Germany, and then you back the far right party of South Africa, like Trump is doing right now, people are going to have an opinion about it.
True, but what I'm saying is, though, if they're going to attack the cars, that's fine. I'm not telling people not to speak out or have their feelings or anything. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is they should do their due diligence and make sure that the people that bought the cars aren't their own people. Like,
okay. I don't know. Like if Schindler had a car, right? If he had a car company back then, do you think you would probably do something to one of his cars if you walked by one of them on the street?
He did have a car company. It's called Volkswagen. He invented them.
Yeah. Would you do that?
No, because I would figure out a different way to protest because if you do that, you get locked up and you're not able to be free to voice your opinion and protest about it. There's other ways to do it without attacking the dealerships and burning them and stuff.
So you're worried about the dealerships?
Okay, you don't like the dealerships, that's fine, but look at it like this: people have to work and eat. People have to do these jobs, and
and it's probably making jobs, right? So like an insurance adjuster has to go out there and adjust the damage, and then those car dealerships get free checks to replace all of those things, and then more Tesla workers get to go make those cars again. It's a good cycle.
Yeah, it's a vicious cycle. I completely agree with you. See, here's the thing. I'm a Gen Xer and everything, and my generation, along with every other generation before me and after, we had something to say. We had our say. Now, I know this generation has something to say, but the thing is, I don't think that they're getting what they really want to say out there. I think what it was, they just came out and they were so emotional about it. I don't know. I don't think they're going about it the right way. I'm not saying they're doing anything stupid or wrong.
Did you know that out of the top 15 domestic terrorist groups in the United States, the top 14 are right-wing domestic terrorist groups, like the Proud Boys, like Boogaloo Boys, Patriot Front, all of them. That's who's doing most of the violence. And the second the left comes out and do it, you guys are clutching your pearls. So you can spare me. You can have your opinions on all you want, but you need to start calling out your own side first and tell them, hey, maybe white supremacy is not chill. That's not cool.
When there's bullshit on no matter what side is happening on it, if there's bullshit happening, it needs to be called out no matter which side is doing it. I'm with you on that part. I just think that, like, I hate to put a label on it, but Gen Z, I think that, like I said, they had something to say. I think what they need to do, and I'm not talking about retreating and running away, I'm talking about 2 steps, metaphorical now. Take 2 metaphorical steps back, regroup like in a football huddle, and discuss and regroup, and then come at it at a different angle to where they're going to get their voice out there, they're going to be heard, and there's not going to be all this pushback and opposition. Because in every generation, there's always going to be radicals that do stupid shit on either side that's going to cause mayhem and chaos, and then neither side is going to get hurt. So
I get you. I would contend that Trump is the one out there radicalizing people, constantly like saying lies and fake news, showing them from the seat of the presidency to the world, basically saying the most divisive things he possibly can, even on just his holiday tweets. Just can't even mention his opposite party. The opposition of his political party to be anything other than radical, leftist, communist, Marxist. He's literally just saying whatever he can to make sure that you guys realize we're bad people. I just think it's horrible. I think it's sad coming from you for to like preach to the left to calm down, because the right is, again, out of the top 15 most violent domestic right-wing terrorist groups, domestic terrorist groups, 14 of them, the top 14 are right-wing. So I feel like you could listen to us in that sense, not the other way around.
See, that's just it. I'm not right-wing in it, and I'm not telling everybody to if you think that I've said that, then you misunderstood me, or I didn't say it the right way, and that's on me. What I'm saying is I'm not telling them to run away or be quiet or calm down. I'm just saying, stop, take a deep breath, think about what they really want to say, and say it. And don't come at it with, like with the way they did it, with all up in their face, and like, I don't know, just try a different tactic, and and that doesn't mean kiss anybody's butt or gander. That just means
you know what I think you should do is, if someone says something mean to you, you should tweet 40 times in one night. That's what you should do. And drag that person, call them names. I'm just kidding. That's what Trump does. Listen, I don't think that you have any room to have some like pep talk or like.
Did you hear me?
I'd rather hear about like your opinions, why you like Trump.
I never said I liked him. I just said I liked some of the things that he was discussing, like, like I said, the Social Security taxes, the lower food, and lower taxes on food. Of course, everybody, not just me.
No, Trump's taxing food. It's not a thing. So Trump might give you like a couple percentage point break on your income tax, but when you spend your money, you're paying a tax. So you see how he tricked you?
All presidents have done that. It's all sleight of hand.
No, not all presidents. Like Joe Biden may have fucked with like lumber tariffs and steel tariffs to protect people's jobs, but he didn't do it for like as a way to collect money from you.
Well, I wasn't really pinpointing, on Biden. I wasn't even thinking about Biden. But if you want to think of a president, you're too young to remember this guy. I know you've heard of him, President Carter. Biggest dumbass we ever had in office. He should have never been there. Okay. He screwed his country up.
Okay.
That's I'm not going to attack Biden.
All right. What about Reagan? Let me guess. You like Reagan?
Not really.
Okay. Reagan is by far the worst president we've had in a long time. He was a Republican. He created the wealth gap. He made it to where schooling is expensive as fuck. If you literally just sit down and you're wondering, hey, here's a problem I'm having today, if you like Google why like 5 times, it goes back to Reagan.
Well, I know exactly what you're talking about. I was alive back then. I lived it. I know exactly what you're saying. He was a oil fire just waiting to happen.
Okay, yeah, he was an actor. You guys hire actors. We hired people who are qualified.
I didn't vote for him.
Well, your side did.
I'm not a Republican. That's just it. I don't look at it like it's like this. Let's say you got 3 women and 3 men of all different parties running for office of president, right? Okay, I'm gonna listen to all the debates that they have. Either 1-on-1 or the whole group together. I'm gonna listen to all of them as a group and watch each one of them's campaign. And do my due diligence and investigate each and every one of them and learn.
If you voted for Trump, you did not do that. Trump did not have a platform.
And then I base my vote upon who I think out of all the people overall.
Okay,
which
let's see if you did that. What was Trump's platform for his economy? Can you tell me one thing he proposed to do for the economy on his platform?
Well, the same things that you've been attacking him on.
No.
Lowering tax price. Lowering taxes.
That does not make the economy better.
Lowering prices on food, lowering prices on gas.
That does not do. Listen, you can say. Listen, there's one thing when he says I'm going to lower gas prices, I'm going to lower food prices. That's a promise. That's not a proposal.
Mm-hmm.
What you say is, how are you going to do that? You say, what's your plan to do that? And people with two hemispheres in their brain, that's what they say. I want to see what your plan is for that. And they go and look on his website. And if you look on his website, I can show you right now. It's like a fucking fifth grader wrote this up. It's literally the most embarrassing thing I can think of. Here it is. It says end inflation. What the fuck does that mean? Make America affordable again. That's a bumper sticker. That's not a plan. All right. So for you to have claimed to have done this, I'm sorry, you didn't. You didn't do that. Kamala had an 82-page PDF with actual things she was going to do to help the economy, not this shit.
Well, then she needs to try to regroup and run again and win and get her policies in action. Then, I mean, it's the way she came into the race was, I don't think she stood a chance because she came in it at the last minute. I'm not attacking her. I'm just saying the way everything happened when Biden stepped down and she had to step in, it was just a big clusterfuck, and she didn't. I don't think she stood a fair chance.
All right. Well, if you're actually gonna stand on what you said earlier, that you just read their policy and that's what you like, rather than just kind of chewing on the fact that she entered the race at X time or only had X amount of time to run, that's a different story, right?
Oh, I wasn't chewing on it. I was just saying I feel that just the timing of it all. When she stepped into the race, she's basically at the back, the back 40 of it, and it's remarkable that she got as much backing money as she did in such a short amount of time. I mean,
she did fantastic. She did a fantastic campaign for the short amount of time she had. You're right.
True, but I have a question I was wanting to ask you because I haven't heard it asked yet on in this particular podcast. This happened to me about 6 months back. See, I live in Tennessee, and you were talking about the Bible Belt earlier. This is the belt buckle, and trust me, I'm not. I'll argue with religious fanatics all day long because I think they're ignorant. But my thing is this: I was up around the college up there. I had a doctor's appointment, and the hospital was up around, close where the college campus is. Well, there was a restaurant I was going to go into. I placed my order. I had to go to the restroom while I was waiting on my order. I go towards the restroom. 3 individuals wearing, I don't know what to call them, they're black and white checkered scarves, free Palestine is what they were saying. And I said, okay, I understand. I said, but I got to get to the restroom. They started putting their, hands on me, shoving me. So I drew my pistol on them, and I made a move because I'm disabled and I'm a senior citizen. And so when I come out of the restroom, there was cops there, and I had to show them my phone, and 3 other people there had to show them what they'd videoed. And now those 3 guys are arrested and awaiting trial that I got to go to. So my question for you is, if 3 or more people are protesting something, that's their right, and I'm all for speaking your mind. But when you go putting your hands on people that aren't, your opposition, that have nothing to do with what you're out there raging about, where do you stand on them doing stuff like that to people
I think
that have nothing to do
I think that
with
you
it?
should peacefully protest. I think that assault's already illegal. We should condemn every instance of people doing that kind of stuff to get their point across. And I don't think that this is something left or right. Like I said, if you look at the numbers, domestic terrorism is its highest on the right, not the left. So yes, you found an incident that landed on the left, possibly, but it's not domestic terrorism if all they did was assault you.
No, I didn't claim domestic terrorism. I'm just saying they were protesting free and everything, and that's fine. Say it and everything. Just don't be violent, because I mean, I didn't do anything. And like I said, now I don't know if you know this. I'm not saying you don't, but some people don't. Here in Tennessee, we have what they call a stand your ground law. And what that means is
I know what
if
it is.
somebody, okay, well, by law now, with me being a senior citizen and being disabled, I could have enacted that stand your ground law, and all three of those people could have been dead. I had every legal right in the world. I don't want, and I'm not saying I'm that kind of person and I'll shoot you if you get in my way. That's not it. I drew my gun because they were putting their hands on me. That was it. I don't like drawing my gun. This gun that I have is for, it's to keep people honest, as I say. You know, checks and balances.
Okay.
So I feel that in Tennessee, like I said, in Tennessee, I had every legal right to kill them, but I didn't. So I'm just saying, every time a protester, doesn't matter what side they're on, right, left, independent, Whig Party, Tea Party, whatever. If they're protesting, fine. But when they put hands on somebody, somebody pulls a weapon on them.
I get you. I get it.
They're choosing their day to do what they're doing.
All right.
You know, my generation protested, and we made it through. We didn't get killed. You know, and I don't want that for this generation.
Yeah.
I actually feel bad for this generation because they're, like I said, they got a voice and they're not being heard. Do you agree or disagree?
I don't know what that means, but yeah, I guess Trump making it illegal to protest on college campuses does make it seem like they have a voice that's not being heard. Yeah.
No, what I'm saying is, you know, like I said earlier, every generation had, you know, like my older brothers who come from the 60s during Vietnam, the hippie phase. I'm a hippie, but I'm a young hippie as far as that goes. They protested, you know, the Vietnam War and everything else that they protested. Okay, I'm just saying they had their voice, you know, so we had our voice, and I know this generation has a voice. I'm just saying they're not being heard. In other words, because see, our generation, there was a radical, you know, group of them that were led by their emotions and not with their intelligence. And these young kids, I'm sure, are highly intelligent because, for the most part, most of them are in college or have been in college. They just need to think intelligently and not be ran by their emotions.
I get it. You know what? I get it. And if you were to sit here and watch my stream for a while, you'll see who the intelligent and calm people are, and you'll see who the emotional and irrational people are, who, no matter what receipts you show them, they don't care. The people who think that trans people or immigrants are the problem, but when you show them the actual receipts of who's committing a crime and who's taking your money, who's fucking up the economy, they don't care. They don't care.
I'm just going to be honest with you. As far as the immigration, you know, as far as people coming in from other countries, you know, and all this, and one side or the other calling each other this and that. I'm just going to be honest. That's been going on since like the Industrial Revolution happened, and since big business owners and stuff got their fingers or got their hands in politics. It's until, I hate to say it, but our whole political structure, our whole religious structure, our whole scholastic structure, our whole law enforcement structure is in need of enemas. And by that, I mean it all needs to be clean and clear, and then go through the pipes of each one of those and check the pipeline, get rid of all the old rusty pipes and put new pipes in and start working on fixing the problem. Stop putting patches.
I love that. You know who actually did that? You know who actually removed all the lead pipes in America? Joe Biden. I love that.
Well,
right.
I mean,
do you have anything else you want to say before I drop you? I think I'm going to go to the next caller.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry if I held you up, and I appreciate you letting me be on. I do have a question. You can either answer it, you know, while I'm on the phone or however it's your show. But my question for you is this, seriously now. As far as the whole, what you and that gentleman were talking about earlier, I don't have kids in school anymore except my youngest. She's 25. She graduates from college here soon. So, but what's your thought on the whole educational system? Now, I'm not talking about the transgender stuff in schools or anything. I'm talking about all of it as a whole. What's your thought
I
on
think that
education?
Trump convinced a lot of people without any good reason, without any logic at all, that he should defund the Department of Education, and he has in turn completely bankrupt certain states. So, like Texas, for instance, it's 20% of the state's school budget that came from the federal Department of Education, and they did not even dictate any curriculum. And that's what the scapegoat was that he gave y'all. So you cheered him on. You said, "Hey, I don't want big government telling our state's schools what to do." Meanwhile, he turned around and he's using the federal government to tell schools like Harvard and Columbia University what to do. So I don't think that Republicans have any business telling Democrats how to do anything in regards to education, because considering all of the red states have vehemently worse education systems and rank lower on the school system or on the scale than blue states are the top states in education. Red states are the worst. They are the bottom 50 for the most part.
I don't have the stats in front of me. I haven't followed it as much as you have, so I'm not pandering or kissing up, but I'll just take what you say, because I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying I don't, like I said, I don't have a little child in school anymore. So like I always say here in Tennessee, we don't have a dog in that fight. So I don't have a dog in that fight on that one. I was just asking your thoughts on what you feel, because
I think it's a complete travesty that Trump took away like billions of dollars. $286 billion was removed from educating our children, and this generation is going to see the effects of that. And the reason he did it was to give that $250 million to his rich friends in the form of tax breaks. That's what he did. That's what you endorsed, and you will see that. You will see what happens.
Now, this is what we did in school every morning up until I was probably in the until I started my freshman year in high school. Every morning, without fail, after in homeroom, after roll was taken, we all stood up, looked straight at the flag that's in the room, placed our right hands over our hearts, and did the Pledge of Allegiance. Now, me personally, honestly, I like that, and I think it should be in schools. But I'm not saying it should be forced on anybody. It's just my own personal opinion, and I'm not trying to upset anybody or make anybody mad. I just feel that at least that should be put in there, because that can teach kids when they're young to have some.
Doesn't do anything. That doesn't do anything.
Well, it teaches kids to have some pride in their country and solidarity.
I think what we should do is be able to criticize our country when things are happening that we don't agree with. I don't think we should instill blind patriotism. There's a few other countries that do that. One of them is like North Korea. So like, if you want kids to be brainwashed and indoctrinated from the earlier age, that's cool. But for me, I would rather teach them, hey, have free thinking. Don't have blind patriotism. In fact, if you want to consider yourself a patriot, maybe you should uphold the Constitution and say, hey, no matter who the president is, he shouldn't go against the Constitution like Trump is doing. But it seems like the bar keeps moving every day for that.
Do you think the Constitution should have been taken out of government buildings and stuff?
I don't know. I don't know if that makes a difference. I think we should teach it in school.
Yes, but I'm just saying, do you think that it was right for them to take it out of like certain government buildings?
When did they do that?
Well, here, I can't speak for everywhere else, but here in the South, about, I don't know, 10 years ago, maybe 15 tops, bunch of, people that, somebody from another country who immigrated here and was a legal citizen was walking in some government building for whatever their purpose was. They just had to look over and saw, we the people, and it pissed them off, it offended them and all this. So they started, boo, 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 my feelings are hurt, take it down.
This feels like one of those stories that's made up.
Say again, sir?
This feels like one of those stories that's made up. I've never heard of this.
No, it was all, nope, it's not made up. They actually removed it. It happened in Nashville and it happened in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, where I grew up.
Oh, in a red state.
Yes, honest, I'm not making it up. It happened.
Well, I mean, I don't really think that does anything. Like we don't learn anything from like shit on the walls in buildings. We learn things in school for the most part. So for that to be something that you are like being told to be outraged about, that sounds like it sounds like right-wing propaganda for like people to get mad. Like, here's a story of the Constitution being taken off the wall, and this is what's wrong with kids these days. Like that's, it sounds like a very dumb like right-wing propaganda story.
Well, and just so you know, I wasn't angry about it. I was just letting you know about, and see, the thing is, if people get offended about stuff, that's fine. It's their God-given right, and they're human, and I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. It's their human right to be happy, sad, mad, offended, upset, whatever, about anything and all things, if they so choose. But if something like that, if it offends somebody or a small group of people, okay, it's offensive to them. That's fine. But just, and again, I'm not for things being forced on people. I can't stand that. That's being a bully, and I hate, and, I don't like a group being, trying to bully people. All I'm saying is, if they don't like it, that's fine. Just don't deal with it and let everybody else who does like it enjoy it. Just like me, I can't stand new country. My friends and family love it. I don't protest it or dog it. I let them enjoy I let them listen to what they listen to, and I do what I do. That's what America needs to do.
Proud of you.
They need to find common ground with each other. Everybody needs to find common ground, because if not, we're going to have a civil war, and it's not going to end well. And I don't want to be alive. I'd hate to be alive when that happens. I hope I'm not around if it happens, but I see it happening. And I'd hate to see you or anybody else your age have to go through that.
All right, I appreciate you. Well, all right, you have a good day, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for calling.
Yes, sir.
It's giving, yeah, like someone said in chat, it's giving kitty litter boxes in classrooms. Did you know that kids are having kitty litter boxes in classrooms and they're pooping in there because they think they're cats? Never happened. Republicans love that. I bet my mom still thinks that's real. All right, the phone line's back on, chat. Hello, is this a Trump supporter?
I'm here to say that I also agree.
All right, you sound 12. Fetus alert. Yeetus thy fetus. Hello, is this a Trump supporter?
Mm-hmm.
You said
Hello,
yes?
can you hear me?
Yeah, you said you're a Trump supporter?
Well, I did vote for him, but yeah.
Okay, what do you like about Trump?
Yeah, so, first of all, let me say that I don't belong to a party. I'm a moderate. I actually wanted to talk about something that was mentioned earlier, and I don't have a lot of time, unfortunately. My phone's about to die, but you said earlier that with the guy that you was just talking to, he said that he did research on both sides, and he said that he liked Trump better, and then you pulled up the documents on both sides. You said Kamala had a PDF and Trump had a just
Trump.
all his stuff right there that you were highlighting.
Mm-hmm.
So my question to you is like, if all this is true, the way I looked at it was, I see Trump, he's like months before the election, he was saying tariff, tariff, tariff. So, but Kamala, it seemed to me, she was very disingenuous. She was wishy-washy. She bounced around. She couldn't really stay That's why I voted for Trump. Basically, like he actually like kind of stuck to what his core message was the whole time.
Literally everybody was caught by surprise when Trump said he was going to tariff Canada and Mexico. Not to mention, this last few weeks have been a complete roller coaster. We have no idea still what he's doing with his tariffs. Like, I've had people come and debate that they're going to bring back U.S. manufacturing. Still don't know if that's the case. Some people say that he's going to use them for negotiation. Don't know if that's the case. We don't know if they're going to stay, if they're going to go. We literally see the U.S. dollar being threatened to be collapsed because of this. We have people selling U.S. bonds. Like Japan, they hold about $1 trillion of U.S. bonds. If they sold all of them, we would just collapse. Our economy would collapse entirely. That's why he's had to back down on a lot of this stuff. And it's horrible. And we even did have people like Larry Summers say that if Trump did have his way with the economy, that we would see stagflation, we would see a recession by the midsummer. Here we are. So exactly what Kamala said, and we are seeing our GDP shrink because of this. So we had a little bit of foresight. We had no idea what he's going to do. Kamala, for instance, though, she had exact things, black and white. We are going to lower the tax on the middle class by this much, and if you're in this class, if you make this much money, we're going to lower your taxes by this much. If you're rich, we're going to raise your taxes by this much on this exact thing. We're also going to fund people who want to build a new house. We're going to give people tax credits. We're going to raise the standard deduction to $50,000. Every single thing that she was going to do was in black and white, and Trump just had like garbage, like we're going to become energy independent again, and Biden was the most energy independent we've been in 70 years. So like everything should have raised red flags. So if you enjoyed watching Trump speak, which included things like the late great Hannibal Lecter endorsing him, he mentioned that at every rally, that's on you, man. If you think that sharks and batteries and they're eating the dogs and the cats and all that stuff was more profound and convincing than Kamala just straight up talking about what she's going to do for the economy, sure, man.
Well, here's the thing, like, okay, when it comes to, like, for instance, the dog and cat thing, like, I'm already, like, going into it expecting, like, Trump to just say some wild stuff sometimes. Like, I don't really think anyone's perfect. However, one thing you mentioned, like, you said Kamala had black and white what she was going to do and whatnot. But however, like, when I'm looking at this, she was the vice president for 4 years along with Joe Biden. Joe Biden and Kamala both claiming that they work close together. Like, I mean, I don't see, like, if she said she was going to do this stuff, we should have at least seen it. But yet, I kind of saw the opposite, especially leading up though. Like
so she's a vice
okay,
president.
we're gonna what?
She
Hold
was
on,
vice
can you
president.
repeat that?
She was vice
Yes.
president. And second of all, they were the most productive administration in decades. They passed more legislation with a razor thin Congress and Senate than anyone in like many decades. So they did a lot of work. They couldn't do everything. Like, you can only spend so much in a term. So yeah, the next term after that, that's when you take another few $1 trillion and you implement more plans.
Well, yeah, but the point I'm trying to make is like so when they were talking about earlier when you mentioned the housing thing. Okay, well, how the interest rates, especially where I live, have only gone up.
That's because of inflation.
Yes, but the inflation, it's always normal to have a steady amount of inflation. That's normal. I'm talking about the rate of inflation, like, was much higher.
Yeah, we
had
high inflation because of COVID.
Term.
COVID happened.
Yeah, but I'm talking about. I'm not even talking about just directly after COVID. I'm talking about when you I'm talking about is recent as 2024. Like, you've seen it continually go up. Like, I can understand maybe 1 or 2 years directly after COVID. That's fine. But I'm talking about.
So, like, do you know why? Like, the Fed controls interest rates, right? When we had 9% inflation, the way you reduce inflation is to increase interest rates. That's what they did. And what they do is they monitor inflation. And if inflation stabilizes and it's lower, like Joe Biden got all the way down to 2.2%, fantastic. We would be able to lift we would be able to lower interest rates. But now that Trump has been in office, the Fed had, I believe it was like three points in which they were going to reduce the interest rates in 2025. Now that Trump is in office, fucking around with his tariffs, they do not have any plans to reduce the interest rates. They don't have any plans to do it. Trump is trying to yell at them through Twitter to do it, but that's not how you do it.
Well, they do have plans to decrease the interest rate.
Not anymore.
Do you remember? Okay, so do you remember? I believe it was, I can't remember the exact month, but do you remember back when Bobby Kennedy officially joined the Trump campaign? They talked about how they were going to decrease the inflation rate. They're going to start producing. The goal is like not directly through the tariffs, but that's part of it. But the goal is through our energy production. We're going to
Yeah, no, that was
rebuild.
incoherent. Biden was already producing way more oil than Trump.
He shut down the pipeline though.
That's
then
not
like
how we
20.
produce
I
oil.
forgot what the year, but
that was
the reserve.
The Keystone XL, first of all, was 8% complete. It was Canadian owned. It was shut down by Judge Brian Morris in 2019, which is Trump. And then the Supreme Court, Trump's Supreme Court, further upheld shutting it down in 2020. That's what happened. It was not going to make energy go down. It was literally a pipeline that went to the Gulf Shore from like Canada, and was just meant to export after refining. I believe it was mostly tar sands, which makes plastic, not actual petroleum. But it was 8% complete. It was never done. So how would that make gas prices go up?
I never said anything about the gas prices.
Yeah, but
I'm talking about
year
purely,
by year we drove
paying
more
off the
oil.
debt after our debt has been. My phone's messing up. Paying off the debt. Not paying off, defaulting on the debt. Like during their term, I'm talking about. Like they're going to start to decrease inflation, or not decrease inflation. My bad. The interest rates, you have to decrease the debt, and that's what they're going to have. That's what they're going to have to try to do.
I don't even know if that's a thing that they determine the interest rates with. They look at the inflation. So if inflation goes down and stays down, they'll reduce interest rates. It slows down the trade of commodities. That's what interest rates do. That's how you control inflation. So if inflation looks like it's going to go up, the Atlanta Fed right now says, hey, we're not going to be reducing the interest rates at all right now, considering Trump's tariffs. If you want interest rates to go down, you wanted Kamala in office.
But they weren't going down during the last.
They lowered them twice in the last year.
But you claim that, but everywhere I looked around me, like for example, this is just a personal experience. There's a neighborhood being built across the street from me, and the interest rates were only increasing. So I don't see like you're claiming these interest rates are going down, but I've only seen them like in my day to day going up. So I don't.
Yeah, you just got to Google this stuff. You got to see what they did. So in 2024 September, the Fed cut federal fund rates by 50 basis, so it's like 0.5. So
why do I have to Google it and like bounce around with sources and stuff that I don't know, that I have to determine if they're credible or not when I'm seeing it in my day to day?
The Federal Reserve, bro. The Federal Reserve. That's who controls this. We don't need the CNN or Fox to tell us what's going on. Just look at the Federal Reserve, bro. This is not controversial at all.
Okay. Well, can I bounce to my second question before my phone dies?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so my question is, earlier you were debating a guy, you said the red states don't teach, red states don't teach sex ed. Yeah, so I'm from a deep red state, and we do teach it. So, and not only do we teach it, like, it's not just like one little 2-month thing. Like, it's like, it's a whole, like, thing dedicated. It's like a whole 2-week process dedicated to it. And also my school also has free lunches too. So
okay, so that's anecdotal.
When I was in school,
it's anecdotal. So like what you're talking about is your personal experience. What we're talking about is like as a whole, like what
that's
is
not
the pattern?
What
is your entire state
I went to the state funded school.
That doesn't
Like
matter.
it
Like
went to a
school
publicly.
curriculum is like hyper local sometimes. Like your gated community could have decided what your school taught you. Like we don't know, but it wasn't done federally, and it's not always done statewide. So what we're talking about is who is more likely to not teach sex ed, and it's red states. So that's why anecdotal experiences don't work, because for every one experience like you just gave me, there's someone else in the same state who will go, hey, I went to school and they didn't teach us. And we say, who's correct? That's when you have to like go look at the whole thing.
Well, I'm not. You're claiming it's anecdotal, but when it's a personal experience that many people share because it took place in a public state-funded school, I don't see. Like it's not just me. Like it's the state that I live in that is making this stuff.
I know you live in a state. I live in a state too.
Well,
I live
obviously,
in Texas.
I wouldn't be calling you if I didn't live in the state.
I live in Texas, and they taught us some really fucking weird shit with sex ed.
Okay,
Does
well,
that mean all red
that's
states,
anecdotal
all
too.
the state of Texas? Yeah, exactly. It's anecdotal.
Okay, well, that's all I had, unfortunately.
All right. Well, thanks
Thank you
calling
for
in.
taking my call.
Anytime. Holy Toledo. All right. We're turning the phone line back on. Holy cow. Hello, is this a Trump supporter?
Hey, what's going on? Yeah, I'd say I'm a Trump supporter. How are you?
Doing good. What do you like about Trump?
I like a fair amount of stuff about Trump. Really quick, if you don't mind, though, I wanted to go back to a point you made a few calls ago. What about the Oklahoma Bible mandate? And you said it was Trump's Bible. What did you mean by that, Trump's Bible?
Did you know that Trump has a Bible?
No, I didn't. Trump doesn't have a Bible. What are you
see my
talking
screen?
about? I can't see your screen because I'm on YouTube. So if I click play, then I'm going to get double talk.
Well, take a peek at it for just a sec.
All right. Yeah, you're gonna have to wait like 10 seconds, bro. Okay, here we go. Okay, that I see the Bible there. I see the Bible there.
Okay, Trump has.
That's not Trump's Bible.
That is.
What are you talking about?
So Trump sells that Bible. Yes, he does. And there's a guy in Oklahoma that is in charge of the school system that glazes Trump and has committed $60 million worth of money from the school district to buy that Bible and put it in the schools. Yes, Trump does have a Bible and he sells it. He does.
Okay, let's break this down really quick. So the Bible that you're talking about isn't Trump's Bible. It's Lee Greenwood's Bible. And Trump receives a royalty from the Bible because he endorsed the Bible. The reason that Oklahoma wanted to use that Bible is because Oklahoma just doesn't want to put a Bible in their classroom. The order by the governor of Oklahoma wasn't to put a Bible in. It was to put the Bible, the Ten Commandments, the Constitution, and the Declaration of Independence into the classrooms because they wanted to use it for educational purposes.
And they already have a tablet with all these things in it, right?
Hold on, really quick. That Lee Greenwood Bible has the Bible, the Declaration of Independence, the Ten Commandments, and the Constitution in it. And so it was knocking out 4 birds with 1 stone. My next point, that Bible, the order for $55 million to purchase that Bible was canceled because it said that it didn't meet the requirements that they wanted ultimately. So it's no longer on the table. The third thing, the Oklahoma Congress, or the Oklahoma legislature, apologies for misspeaking, they will not provide the $55 million to purchase that book. And then the Supreme Court also said, we are going to withhold enforcing this Bible in the classroom until other litigation is cleared up in the Supreme Court regarding the constitutionality of it. So,
So they
I
tried, though,
failed to
right?
see.
They tried.
Yeah, they tried, and
Got it.
there's not no. Not only did they not try, they're still trying. What's the
They're still
problem
trying.
with this?
What's the problem?
What's the problem?
Okay, so first of all, it's blasphemy to put your name on the front of the Bible and then sell it. Trump did. After all, yes, this is Trump's venture.
So you have a problem. You have a problem with it religiously?
I have a problem with like separation of church and state and indoctrinating children under 18 with a weird doctrine. Yeah.
What are you talking about? Separation of church and state. This has nothing to do with church and state.
Yeah, if we're using tax dollars to enforce a religion, that is going against separation of church and state.
Okay, so once again, you're missing the point, and it's apparent to me you haven't read the order signed by the governor. It's very apparent, because the function of putting the Bible in the classroom, along with the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence and the Ten Commandments, wasn't to try and enforce a doctrine on the students. The point of it was to try to give it a educational text, and there's already legal precedent that he is aware of that showcases that he wasn't able to do that for endorsing a religion.
Yeah, but he tried. He tried. So what they were doing was they were going to they made the criteria for the Bibles that they wanted in those classrooms. Yes, to have the Constitution and the other stuff alongside the Bible. That kind of narrows it down, doesn't it? And it also had to be like leather bound, which just so happened to be Trump's Bible. Yes, this was a very blatant attempt at trying to glaze Trump so that maybe Trump would maybe choose that guy for like
It was a blatant
Secretary
attempt
of
at trying to glaze
Education.
Trump.
Yes.
That's your position. It was a blatant attempt. So if it's a blatant attempt to try and glaze Trump, why has the order been canceled and why is the order still in effect?
Because maybe
now,
Trump
really
got,
quick, the
Trump,
order
Trump
for the
already
Bibles
chose
aren't
Linda
canceled,
McMahon.
but the order. No. Okay. Now what you've done is just the most classic liberal thing. What you've done is you've said, hey, the reason that they wanted to purchase this Bible was to try and give Trump a kicker. Don't you see? It's obvious. They're going with the Trump Bible.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, why did they cancel it? It's like, well, isn't it obvious? It's because the person that they were going to the person who was purchasing the Bibles, he canceled it because Trump didn't pick him.
Yeah.
Right? Is that the position?
Probably.
Okay. Now show me that. That's what I'm saying. Show me that. Like, that's a huge. Now you've created like almost a conspiracy of sorts. Prove
Okay.
your conspiracy to me.
Okay, I don't know what to tell you other than the president pushing a Bible and a person in the state of Oklahoma trying to use that and purchase that Bible for their schools. Whether it failed or not, their attempt, it's obvious what he's trying to do. Do you think that they just thought for some reason Trump's Bible was the best?
No, it wasn't. Okay, once again, stop calling it Trump's. It's not Trump's
It is
Bible.
I know you hate hearing it, but it is Trump's Bible.
No. You're not hearing me. It's like if Angelina Jolie endorsed Harry Potter, would you be like, oh, it's Angelina Jolie's entire series? It's like, no, she gets a royalty from J.K. Rowling's writing of it.
I get that you hate hearing it this way, but yes, Trump bought these Bibles, put his name on it, and marked them up to $60 and sold them. If Angelina bought royalty-free, or if she bought some cheap $3 Harry Potter books from China and sold them for $60, I would say
my
they're
gosh.
Angelina Jolie's books. Yeah.
Right. Okay, what I'm saying to you is that the purchase order by the Secretary of Education in Oklahoma, it wasn't for Trump's. Trump doesn't control the purchase price of the Bible. Lee Greenwood, who made that, he bound it together. He's like, we're going to put the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, the Bible, and the Ten Commandments are within the Bible.
I know Trump didn't
We're going to put
personally
this all
do
together.
this. I know, but Trump is using it to make money. He is grifting with the Bible by putting his name, like he does with everything else. He puts his name on it and he resells it, marks it up and resells it. I know Lee Greenwood's also a person involved that doesn't clear Trump for doing this and trying to profit $57 per Bible.
What are you? Okay, what are you talking about with the $57 with the $57 markup? Where are you getting this information from?
We saw that the Customs saw that Trump ordered pallets or boxes or cargoes of these Bibles, and considering the amount of Bibles in those and the cost of the freight, we got the roundabout price of these Bibles to be $3, and he's selling them for $60.
Yeah, I've made my position. We fundamentally disagree. I don't think that you have met the threshold for the conspiracy that that the Oklahoma state is in cahoots with Trump to try and get this deal passed.
I know that's
I
real
don't even know what
far-fetched.
Trump's royalty. I don't even know what Trump's royalty is on it, dude. It's probably a fucking drop in the bucket. The second thing is, you brought up the separation of church and state.
Yeah.
What are you talking about, the separation of church and state? That's like, what do you mean?
What's
do you
the
do
very
you,
first
do you know what you
sentence?
talk about
What's,
that when
what's the first sentence in the Constitution?
I don't know it off the top of my head.
Congress
Why?
shall pass
What does
no
that have to do
law.
with this?
Congress shall pass no law respecting any religion.
Okay, yeah, you're correct. Is this Congress?
Okay, there's an obvious church and state separation, right? The Federalist Papers also champion this idea. We also have the Treaty of Tripoli, where our founding fathers said that they absolutely do not want to intermingle religion and the government.
Okay, so that treaty, was that a state or was that the federal government? So what you're not understanding about that first line in the Constitution is that the doctrine of separation of church and state applied to that the federal government couldn't establish a religion. There were many, many states that had like organized religions as the heads of state. Massachusetts, Connecticut, New Hampshire, Virginia.
Okay,
like the Carolinas.
they
had an Anglican and an English church.
You would have a point if Trump literally didn't just start like a federal task force to stop anti-Christian bias and hire a pedophile to be his fucking spiritual advisor.
You're purging and you're pivoting. What I'm talking about is that the church and state doctrine is for the federal government, not for the state government. States can have an organized religion as the head of their state. And you took the constitutional federal mandate and applied it universally to all the states.
Okay,
that makes no sense.
Okay. Maybe you do have a point. Maybe states can start doing stuff with their religion, but I highly doubt we'll ever get away from the Christian thing.
Oh, okay. Maybe we will. Maybe we won't. What's your point with that?
I don't know. I think it's obvious corruption, first of all, and I think it's hypocritical. Also, there's literal like stuff in the Bible itself that say that you shouldn't be trying to use the religion to make a profit, and that was exactly what they were trying to do by putting these Bibles in the classroom with Trump's name on them.
Okay, I'm going to take a step back and let's try and bring the temperature down. Have you read the order signed by Governor Sitwalker?
No.
Have you read it? Okay. No. The point of it, of the mandate, it was to try to show it, like, through specific grades, how the Bible had like narrative elements, historical context in our country. And he wanted to take that and he wanted to parlay that against the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, which is why he wanted it all bound together. So at like grade, like if you're in elementary school, he's like, we're going to talk about like the historical context of the Bible, just in general, like what is it? And then like grade 6 through 8, he's like, we're going to take the Bible and we're going to compare the biblical stories with other cultural stories.
That's cute, but they already have iPads for the most part, so they have access to all this stuff.
So that's your problem? Your problem is that the governor has a prerogative to do it on fucking paper versus an iPad?
Yeah, it's an obvious like abuse of power and an attempt to glaze Trump.
It's an obvious abuse of power. I think here's the problem with you and me. Here's the fundamental tension between you and me. I look at things from a legal perspective, and I think you look at things more from a moral perspective. Would you agree with me on that?
No, if you think that you look through the lens of the law when you look at your party, I highly doubt it.
No, I'm not talking about looking at my party. I'm talking about the specific situation regarding the governor of Oklahoma mandating the Bible, the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, and the Ten Commandments be in the classroom. That's not an abuse of power legally. That's well within his purview to do it, so long as he's not trying to coerce the students into a religion.
Oh, well, he does try to hold prayer over with his students, doesn't he?
Okay, yeah, he does. What's the problem with that?
Okay. So you see how you're reaching, you're saying you're like he's not trying to coerce students to do some sort of religion?
No, I'm not trying to say that. No. The Supreme Court has held that classrooms can hold prayer. Classrooms can require the Pledge of Allegiance to be stated, so long as you can opt out of it. So when Governor Walker says, hey, would you like to come pray with me, or we're going to start prayer? Is he forcing the student to pray?
No, he's not forcing them now.
All right, so then it's not an abuse of power, and he's well within his constitutional right to do
But
so.
yeah, I
What's the
would just
problem?
say like leave the kids alone, leave them out of it, kind of thing.
Leave them out of what?
Yeah, your religious superstition.
Okay, the kids are there's a recent Supreme Court case that just went up dealing with the LGBTQ book and the Muslim and the Catholic parents that brought it. Are you following this court case?
No, is it something? Is it a book that was put in by legislation by our party?
I mean, state legislation, likely, yeah, part of the curriculum in was it Maryland or Massachusetts? One of the two, one of the states in New England. Yeah, it was like, yeah. The book was required a part of the curriculum to be read. Yeah, are you following this?
By law? Because isn't curriculum just chosen on a local level?
Yeah, it is. What do you?
Do you think there was a state law that made this part of the curriculum?
No, I didn't say there was a state law that made it part of the curriculum.
So
I'm saying that there was a local, the local curriculum, which is mandated, and it's required for your student to attend the school, unless you can afford fucking homeschooling, which is like the Supreme Court already ruled that's like they don't view that in the purview of the situation. But they were going to be read this LGBTQ book at like the age of like, I don't know, it was like 5 or 6. Look, this is the point I'm trying to make to you. This is the point I'm trying to make. There's a difference between exposure and coercion. Okay? If you can expose children to ideas, that's completely legal. So you can expose children to any form of doctrine, really, but you can't coerce them into it. So when you say that the governor of Oklahoma is using an abuse of power, I don't see this because he's only exposing and he's not coercing. What's your position on that?
I can agree. I can agree that it is exposing, not coercing. But this is an obvious thing where this is like a culture war topic, right? So for you to be like, listen, we're putting in the classroom and it's okay, but I would like to like say like you guys also are against like having let's say like the pride flag in classrooms, but you want God's 10 commandments in all the classrooms in Texas. So like there's obvious double standards for this.
No, you're see, that's the thing. Again, I think once again, you're viewing this from a moral lens, not from a legal lens. If a classroom in Massachusetts wants to hang up an LGBT flag, and the governor of Massachusetts and the entire political process is like, yeah, we're culturally supportive of that, it's well within their legal right to do so long as it's not coercive. And the same token of trying to teach kids and expose kids to that ideology, you have to equally apply that to religious
There's no ideology for LGBTQ.
Okay, fine. That culture,
there's no culture.
Concept.
These are just people, right?
There's no culture in LGBT. There's not an LGBTQ
what's the culture?
culture.
What's the culture of LGBTQ people?
What the question goes down to what is culture? You're saying what is culture, and does LGBTQ have a culture?
Would you say being straight is a culture?
No.
Okay, then why would you say being gay is a culture?
Because I'm not saying being gay is a culture. I'm saying there's an LGBTQ culture.
Okay, what is it?
It's a shared collection of customs and beliefs and social norms that define a group.
What is their social norms? What is their beliefs?
What? So you don't think there's an LGBTQ culture
No.
before we continue, though?
No.
Okay, what about like the expressions and values of LGBTQ individuals? Like a shared history. They have a shared struggle. They have a symbol. They have the rainbow flag.
Yes, they are a marginalized and historically oppressed group. Yes, you're right.
Okay, would you say that they have a culture? They have a flag. They have a symbol. They have a struggle.
Could you tell me like one thing their culture does? Like I can tell you maybe like a thing that Black culture does, or that Southern culture does, or something like that. Can you tell me something that LGBTQ culture does?
Do people that are LGBTQ meet up and share cultural values together?
What does that look like? What are the cultural values you're talking about?
Okay. How about this? There's community centers for LGBTQ. There are safe havens and community centers for LGBTQ individuals. So if you're LGBTQ, you can go to the community center. So now I've asked that. What now you tell me? Name something a part of Black culture.
Okay, rap.
You think rap is Black culture?
It is a part of Black culture, yeah. Jazz?
Okay, well there are things that are a part of LGBTQ culture. LGBTQ has definitive forms of fashion, forms of music, forms of literature. There's things that are associative historically with LGBTQ. Would you disagree with that?
Maybe that's arguable, but like if that's what you're worried about, like your kids being exposed to is LGBTQ music, and that's all you got. I don't.
Oh
I'm not
my
too worried about
goodness!
it.
Once again, you keep on doing this thing, dude, where you keep on attributing morals to me. I don't have a problem with people being exposed to LGBTQ culture. The argument was that if you hang up an LGBTQ flag in a New England state, you then have to be just as equally legally allowed to push another culture in another state. Like think of it like a mirror.
Yeah,
right?
You're still trying to call LGBTQ stuff a culture, and I just think it's like human rights. Like they might have community centers, but the only thing most of those people have in common is that they've been like oppressed or maybe like physically abused or homeless because their parents were people like you. That's about it.
That's about it. There's nothing else that you would say that definitively tethers together LGBTQ individuals.
Have you named one?
Yeah, I said LGBTQ identity, like the flag, the pride symbol, the color.
That's not a culture.
How about the link? I would say so. Would you say that the Confederate flag is indicative of a bigoted culture?
Yes, but that was for the rights for people to own
slaves.
slaves.
Can be right. Okay. So a flag can be indicative of a culture, whether or not you agree with it. And I'm saying that the LGBTQ flag is indicative of a culture.
So
right?
you're saying because someone has a flag, they have a culture?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it can be indicative of a culture.
Yeah.
Don't twist my words.
I
It's
can
not
tell
a reach.
I can tell you immediately.
Language.
I can tell
Coming
you
out. Drag. Genderqueer. Cis. Trans.
Okay, those are not cultural things. Those are languages. Those are things we use to identify and say things. Yes.
Really?
Cis
You don't
is
think
real.
that that words are cultural indicators? There are certain cultures that only share certain jargon, certain words.
Possibly, but cis is not slang.
Okay, so now they have a marker. They have an identifier,
slang.
which is the flag, and they have okay. And then you want to call it slang? I'm going to call it lexicon. I'm going to call it shared lexicon.
Okay.
All right. So now they've got a flag and they've got language. They have events, right? There's pride parades. There's festivals.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You see where I'm going with this?
Okay. You
see my point?
Got me.
I'm not...
You got me. They celebrate their existence. You got me.
Oh, I'm not done. Oh, you're so. Oh, dude. All I'm saying, I'm not even making a radical position. I'm just pointing out that, like, yeah, LGBTQ people have a culture. And you're like, no, they don't. I'm like, well, here's a list of things as why they might have a shared culture.
You're likening like on one side, you're like, okay, we have religion, and then we have another culture where if you want to like LGBTQ people, that's another culture. Like, it's not something, in my opinion, that you can just like either endorse or not, or like be hip with. Like, I think it's literally just something like you acknowledge that these people have rights, or that they've been oppressed historically by your side, or you don't.
Okay, the point I'm trying to make is I'm not trying to liken religion to the culture of LGBTQ. I'm trying to say that in the same metric that a school in New England would expose children to the culture, to the concepts, to the ideologies of LGBTQ, they're not trying to coerce them. They're not trying to say, oh, you have to be trans, or you must be this, or you even must accept this. But this is a thing. Right? These are people that have these beliefs.
So
okay,
do you think that showing someone a book where there is a set of gay parents or a set of like a trans person in that book, do you think that is being coercive, or do you think that's exposing?
It depends on a couple of things. It depends on the age of the child and the
do you hold that same standard for
teacher.
religious stuff? So like, depending on the age of the child, do you think it's coercive to introduce religion to them?
It's not what I hold, it's what the courts hold. And the courts do hold that, yes. The courts say that if you try to say that there is only one God and that one God is the Abrahamic God and it stems from the death of Christ, then you would be coercing, and the parent could take it to the court and they could sue under strict scrutiny under the 14th Amendment, and they could find the
Yes, the answer is
civilly
yes. So
liable.
you agree that it's a doctrine that's being coerced to children at a certain age.
No, and the reason I say no is because that's not what they're doing in Oklahoma. They're not saying this is the Bible, there is only one God. You must follow this God. What they're saying is this Bible was historically and contextually used by the framers to build the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. And they're like, well, why do you think that? And you go, oh, well, flip to page 1 of the book. That's the Declaration. Flip to page 7. That's the Constitution. And then they're trying to make it an educational thing. Now, you may not agree with it, but it's just it's exposure. It's not coercion.
I think it is. I think it is. Like, so I think what you're doing is obviously like introducing kids at a certain age a doctrine which you admit is coercion at a certain age, and you're trying to intermingle.
You just held me to the fire about LGBTQ culture. I'm going to hold you to the fire. How is that doctrine? How is that doctrine coercion to say that the Bible was historically used by the framers in the Constitution Declaration? How is that doctrine?
Because in what way, right? So like we just established that the most of the founding fathers were deists. They were not Christian. So for you to like hint at that or allude to that is it is a lie, and it is coercion. And for them to think like, oh, being American means being Christian, that is coercive.
Okay, a couple of things on that. Okay, most of the framers were not deists. Most of the framers were Christian, and there were a minority of them that were deists. And they influenced deist philosophy, and that deist philosophy, most of it came from the Bible, and they just had certain parts of it that they removed.
Should we also do they ever mention how many of them were like atheists or deists in this curriculum, or do you think they skip over that part?
I have no idea.
Yeah,
I don't know, but I'll tell you this much, and I hate to be so callous about it. Maybe if this had been taught to you, you would know that most of the framers weren't deists. Most of them were Christians that came from countries that were like, or not countries, came from states that had Christianity or a function of Christianity as its established religion.
I get it.
So,
I know you guys are drowning and that Christianity is dying and fewer people
ad hominem,
are Christian.
ad hominem, attack the argument.
No, I'm saying that this is why you guys are clawing at saving Christianity and pushing this back into people's heads in school at a young age and saying, oh, remember this nation is a Christian nation just because some of these people might have been deists and some of them might have been Christian.
No, dude,
they hated the Church of England.
Do you really? Yeah, they hated it. What was the Church of England? Any idea?
Wasn't it the leading? Wasn't it the government of England?
Okay, yeah, the Church of England was established with the government of England. Listen, the Church of England was Anglicanism. All right? Do you know what happened in America? Do you know why there's no such thing as an Anglican? You know why there's no such thing as an Anglican church in America? Any idea?
I don't know. Maybe you guys killed each other.
Yeah, you nailed it. Yeah.
Dang.
You really nailed it. Yeah, you really honestly believe that Christianity and the Bible wasn't like influential and extremely important in the creation of our country by the framers?
Do you think they mention that stuff? Do you think they mention that stuff? Like, by the way, one of the symptoms of being religious like this is we might end up like going to war about this. Do you think they talk about that? Do you think they introduce this to the children too? In the classroom, you're like, listen, this is very important because they fought over whether or not Jesus wore a certain type of sandal or whatever the fuck separates the two denominations of these Christianities. Do you feel like they teach that part too?
I don't think they teach that part. Why?
I don't know. I feel like it's relevant.
That's not within the scope. It's not relevant. It's not within the scope of what they're trying to teach. What they're trying to say ultimately is that the framers had moral teachings on Christian philosophy,
like the slavery stuff.
What do you? Well, that's complicated. I'm sure there were some framers that did use the Bible as justification for
They
slavery.
did. What do you mean?
I'm sure
What do you mean? I'm
okay.
sure they did.
Okay. And I'm sure there were some that also said that it wasn't a good moral justification for slavery. Would we agree on that?
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know.
Yeah, again, it's a pivot. The point I'm trying to make is that the framers did utilize that. Is that your position? Because what you just said is most of them were deists. So now are you saying that actually most of them weren't? They used the Bible to justify slavery?
I would say mostly, yes. The conservatives in the South who were very Christian, started the KKK and the Dixiecrats and all that stuff. Yes, they used it to maintain slavery because it was in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you think that the framers were a part of the KKK?
No.
Okay, so then why are you bringing this up? Because the position is that the
this is part of
Bible
the
was
history.
utilized by the
I just got $80 to kick you. Who is the person that paid? Cynthia, thank you so much. $80 kicked. In the words of gay culture, sashay away. W Cynthia's in the chat. Anybody fighting for Christian nationalism, in my opinion, you're the worst type of person in this country. You're the reason why we are here right now. You guys glazing Trump for all this stuff he's doing. You don't care what rights are being taken away from people as long as they're shoving this shit into people's classrooms. It's so gross. That was a huge kick, too. Thank you so much. She paid double for that kick. W Cynthia. Guys, I can probably do like one more good debate, and then I gotta go out to dinner with my girlfriend. Yellow, is this a Trump supporter?
Hell no. I just want to tell you, thank you for spreading the truth. That's all I want to say. Thank you.
Anytime. Sashay away. I'm looking up what that meant, and it's beautiful. RuPaul's Drag Race. It's used Bidwell to an eliminated contestant. Hello, is this a Trump supporter?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. Do you want to say something real quick?
Yeah, what is your position on the Second Amendment?
I have pew-pews. I think we should do common sense gun laws.
What do you define as common sense gun laws?
Red flag laws, close the loophole that allows people to sell pew-pews to felons in a personal cell. I don't know, maybe safe storage laws, stuff like that.
I am aware of the loophole that allows people to buy firearms without having to show any license at, say, like a swap meet or something.
Yeah.
Do you have like any opinion on guns when it comes to like what the actual models of the guns are?
Yeah, I think that we should limit people to, I don't know, like if you're buying high caliber, high velocity, high capacity firearms, you should at least be 21. I think that you should also have like a few days wait so that crimes of crime of passions are minimized. I honestly don't see a need for those types of guns at all in general. I feel like bolt actions are fine if you're going to actually do hunting. For for you to think that you have any standing chance against rising up against the government is a pipe dream. I think we should just keep it to home protection, shotguns, handguns, rifles.
So, do you think that the citizens should not have the appropriate type of firearm to match at least what the government owns in some respects?
No, not at all.
So, do you have complete faith in the federal government to never violate or do anything to you at any point?
No, I just don't. I'm not. I'm not under the impression I would stand a chance.
Well, I just think that I would like to talk about this because people who have wanted to fight for their freedom and have had nothing but basic firearms and have been outnumbered and outgunned have historically been able to win their independence.
Yeah, I don't know. We have a $1 trillion budget on our military every year. We have nukes, we have drones, we have F-35s. We're not going to stand a goddamn chance against that. I think it's dumb.
Well, there's been so much historical examples where big empires have fallen to guerrilla movements or resistance movements.
Did those empires have nukes and F-35s and drones?
What I'm saying is that it's not just a matter of whether or not they have, because they're not going to nuke us, right? They can't just nuke their own population. The most amount of things that they could do is maybe use like their air force or something. I'm talking about if every citizen has like a semi-automatic AR-15 or a semi-automatic firearm, that would enable them to fight against the government, whether or not the government was well armed.
I know, and it also enables them to do school shootings and have 300 plus police officers stand outside of a school for 4 hours and not do anything.
I do agree that there are like flaws with the Second Amendment and having it to where everybody can get guns so easily, but I also do think it's a fundamental right, and I think that it's been stripped away from other countries for very bad reasons.
I know, but when we look at those other countries now, they're all much safer than the United States, considering we had like 40,000 gun deaths last year. And if you look at like the UK, they had 144 stabbings. It's not even close. If you want to rise up against your government, you have a better chance of just moving somewhere.
Well, I think that the governments in other countries, even though they've banned firearms, they're just going to see more of an increase in crimes relating with other weapons, not just firearms.
I just illustrated that to you, and that's not true.
You're just talking about the UK. What about like a lot of other European countries?
Name one.
You're saying it's the same for every European country?
Yeah, it doesn't even come close.
Okay. Do you think that because I've been to Europe, I've known a lot of Europeans. They've talked about how restrictive it is for people to own even basic things like pepper spray.
I mean, it'd be nice to be living in Europe and have way fewer people dying too. I mean, I've never had to use pepper spray.
But there's still like violent crimes that happen in, like, what about all the violent crimes that happen that aren't reported?
If there's a victim involved, I promise you they report it. If not, then I mean, we have unreported crimes here too. And I would just tell you that that happens here too.
I still think that there's a large amount of crimes that happen in Europe.
I would suggest you just go look at like all of them put together and see if it even comes close to just alone the pew pew deaths alone. It doesn't. 40,000 pew pew deaths. You think they have a nation of our size, even if you scale it down to the size of Europe or a European country, they don't even come close. Not even close.
Well, would you also recognize the fact that European countries tend to have a more authoritarian government, even though that they say that a lot of their like practices are, in theory, like democratic and stuff? Like the power is still heavily centralized in Europe.
I would argue that the party in power right now in the United States is more authoritarian than just about every country in Europe, besides Hungary.
I do think I do have problems with the current administration in the United States, but I'm saying, what about Europe?
Again, like there are countries that are already like authoritarian, in Hungary, maybe I don't know, Kazakhstan. I guess that's kind of Asia or Russia. Um, but nothing even like. Can you name one?
Even just countries like, say, the UK, like the UK practices oppressive forms of government by not allowing certain people to speak on social media platforms, like denoting entire like department of police forces just to enforcing like people speaking on the internet.
I don't know. Again, like I don't know. For you, I feel like you would have a much better case if you gave me like an example. I don't know. Like speaking on the internet's a broad term. I'd have to have like a case here, but like we do have like our current administration literally just like sending people, kidnapping people and sending them to other countries, kicking people out of schools, defunding schools to the tunes of billions of dollars because of what they teach, suing law firms that are challenging the federal government, basically using the FCC to harass entire news channels so that they go out of business or that they start reporting on Trump in a better light. Like we see this here more than any country right now. We're on literally, there's multiple like watchdog organizations that are looking at the United States right now, and we are the bad guys. We're falling into authoritarianism, and I don't think the guns are going to help us anytime soon, especially since the people with the guns are cheering this on.
So do you think that if if the government right now is so oppressive and is so fascist, and eventually it runs its course and possibly Trump wants to like get another term, then fucking how would gun rights not like how would you not want gun rights in order to stop someone who's being tyrannical?
I would move. I would not want to do a sewer slide like basement hold up in my house. I would just move.
It's not about holding up in your house. It's about actually getting out and at least forming some sort of militia or colloquial movement with your community and fighting for what you believe.
It's like a sewer slide mission. If you ask me, sewer slide mission. Like if I went and took over my town hall, maybe I'd be successful in doing that, but I wouldn't be able to take over the city. I wouldn't be able to take over the state. It's not going to happen. Like the military is far bigger, far more mobilized, far more powerful, tactful, better communicate. Like in every shape, in every way, shape, and form. They could cut off our power. They could cut off. They could track us by satellite. Like there's just like a certain caliber pew pew is not going to help you with this. It's just not going to happen.
So your solution is to move and just abandon the country.
If I wanted to live.
Well, I don't know. I do personally disagree with that, but I do understand why, because the U.S. government or the U.S. military is a very lethal instrument. But I still feel like they would face like so much parts of the military would not support genociding its own civilians. Like so much parts of the National Guard would not support the military.
You'd be surprised how effective media is. So what Trump would probably do, or what a fascist regime would probably do, was convince us that maybe that we were all P3DOs, like people who liked little kids, stuff like that. Or they would convince them all that we are all radicalized and we're out of our minds. Like you can just see people in my YouTube comments like making these assumptions about me that I'm gay or something like that. Like they are pretty far gone if you ask me. And it wouldn't take that much more grooming to convince them that this is the right move. And they don't even think that going against the Constitution is wrong at this point. They've been groomed this far. They've been told this far that like even Trump saying that he doesn't even know if he has to abide by the Constitution. That's not a deal breaker for them. So I don't think we're too far from them just straight up doing whatever they were told to do. Boot camp pretty much makes it to where you are a moldable person and that you don't ask questions. You just do what you're told.
Yo, I actually I looked at the comments and I did see a caller that made a good point about if there was a fascist in government, a lot of fascists declare martial law and don't allow everybody to leave their society. So you were saying that like you're just gonna leave if Trump becomes like a full-blown fascist. You might not be able to do that.
I mean, that may be true. That may be true, but I definitely am not. I'm not sure I'm going to stand a chance with an AR and a couple of friends, especially when I'm in Texas and it's a very red state. I feel like there's enough angry, dumb rednecks to fight against me.
Well, I still believe in the Second Amendment, and I still believe that people should own a firearm that is at least respective in some way of what the military can fight with. So the military, like their standard issue is pretty much an M4, so I believe that everybody should be able to own AR-15s.
Yeah, but the M4, doesn't it usually, it's not just semi-auto?
Yeah, I know it's full auto.
Yeah, so they would be able to outgun us pretty easily if we only had the semi-auto version.
No, that's the thing is that you'd like to think that just because it's full auto, they're going to be more scary or whatever, but most combat engagements happen with fucking semi-automatic weapons.
Well, maybe, I mean, they have much more than the M4, right? They have night vision, they have drones, they have all these other things that we won't have access to. They have tanks.
We have access to drones. We have access to night vision too.
Yeah.
I mean, albeit it's locked behind price.
Yeah. I just don't think
drones
we're
are
going to
not
beat a
like drones
trillion-dollar
are cheap
military.
as hell, and we've been seeing that like drones have been being used as like one of the main instruments of war right now in Ukraine. So like if people were using drones against the federal government, they could probably wreak some havoc.
Yeah, I don't know. They have more defensive stuff than we do.
I think that if every single citizen like got together and wanted to like fight the federal government, then we shouldn't disable their ability to do that if the federal government ends up doing stuff that is evil to them.
I guess, but you're just assuming that everyone's going to run it like in lockstep with each other. Like we would be widely uncoordinated. We'd be widely uncoordinated, and all it would take is for us to not all move as a whole for them to win, which would probably happen 9 million times out of 10. It would.
The federal government is going to be so uncoordinated too.
I don't know about that. Like,
I don't know.
Wouldn't it be considered treason? Like, they would pretty much be threatening their military soldiers with whatever the punishment is for treason if they were to go against the commands of their officers.
We're looking at like a military that has a few million service people, and they're floundering on the ability to recruit more people. And then you're looking at a country that has a population of 330 million.
Again, I don't know. I don't want to get my life taken down. I feel like we're talking too much about this.
I'm not advocating for domestic terrorism or anything at all like that. I think that stuff is deplorable. I'm just saying that I believe that people should be allowed to fight a tyrannical government.
Yeah, I just think it's a pipe dream. I think it's not possible. Not possible. There are entire countries that tried it. We are not going to get this done. We're not going to be like they will try for 20 years if they have to. They've shown it.
I think that a good amount of the military would defect, honestly.
I don't know. It seems like there are moments in history we've seen what it takes to convince your own populace and your own military to do these things, and it's possible. Trump is doing most of those things.
Well, that's the thing when I believe that everybody should have access to firearms in the Second Amendment and stuff. I think that every single person, no matter their political beliefs, whether or not they're socialist or anything, I think that they should also be allowed to have these guns because inevitably you might have to fight for what you believe someday.
Hey, that's beautiful and poetic, but I would rather live to see another day than to think I have a standing chance against the Marines.
It's not necessarily going to come down to a whether or not you want to live or not. It's going to come down to how much people feel discontented with the federal government to actually want to do something. And people have been shown that they can do some pretty crazy things. I think that a good amount of like mass shootings are proof of that.
All right, I don't know. I don't want to talk anymore about this. All right, I appreciate you calling in. I think we're walking a fine line with TikTok terms of service.
Okay. You were very good to talk to.
Yeah, you too. Appreciate you calling in, dude.
All right, have a good day.
You too. Heavens to Betsy trap. It really does get to your head, I think. When you're a pew pew owner, it really does fuck with your ego. Like these illusions of grandeur, it really fucks with your head. And also the idea of someone taking it away really fucks with your head. Pew pew culture is, I think it's dangerous. Yeah. Tanks. Tanks. Second Amendment is not for fighting. I agree with that too. Drones are even worse than tanks now. Yeah, I agree. Imagine something flying 60 miles an hour at you, 300 meters above ground. You can't fucking hit it with a pew pew if you wanted to. You're done. You're fucked. You're done. gun ownership is an American right. I bet you they will die on that hill. Like, it's in the Constitution. And then they're looking at Trump trying to alter the Constitution with an executive order. They're like, that's Trump's right. Make it make sense, chat. What if Biden came in and wrote an executive order to take away the Second Amendment? That's Biden's right. You wouldn't see them saying that. You wouldn't see that. Oh, guys, I'm gonna go to supporter only chat for a while. It's Friday. We're gonna let her hair down. We're gonna support our only chat on YouTube. I mean, on TikTok. And we'll have some. Maybe we'll just have some friendlies up. Why the? My subscription thing's not loading, dude. It's pissing me off. Bubs only. Dude, my mods, do y'all have the ability to change it to sub only? Don't forget dinner with your girlfriend. Yeah. Let me see. Yeah. Yeah, 6:30. I got an hour. The subs have been acting up. Yeah. I want my $3 back. I'm sorry, Hog. I'm sorry. But you're not getting fucking shit. Just kidding. What's for dinner? I think we're going to sushi. We're going to eat sushi. Beep. Hello.
Hello.
How are you, Gracie?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good.
It's Good Friday. It's nice, pretty hot out here in Texas. Hey, I wanted to hear you talk to your dad. You know who that is? That's my bird in the background. I wanted to hear you talk to your dad. How do you talk to your dad? Because remember yesterday you were talking about how
I code switch?
Yeah. Like, hi, son, how are you today?
I say, hey, what are you doing, old man?
I got a bunch of animals.
Hey, old man.
Not really?
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird.
How'd
I mean,
you talk about...
guys have heard me do like a country accent before. I kind of I go like I lean like 5 or 10% into a country accent.
I have to watch myself because sometimes when somebody's talking to me in an accent, you know, like an Indian accent or something, then I start talking back to them in that, and I think it can be disrespectful sometimes, and I don't realize it.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just reading chat. Guys, we've got a lot of viewers on YouTube right now. Or at least we were. Sorry to disregard what you just said, but while I'm thinking about it, chat, if you guys haven't done it already, give me a follow on YouTube. We're at 13,000 follows on YouTube, and we are averaging a few hundred viewers over there. It's growing.
Yeah, I went on there to try to look you up, and I went under Pickles GG, and it didn't come up. So you said it's under GGS.
Yes.
Right. Because I didn't look in your link tree. I just got a bunch of pickles when I looked on YouTube.
Yeah, it's in my link tree. I'll show you guys how to do it if you guys don't know. But this is my link tree right here on my profile, and it's right here. So if you just click on that link, it'll bring you in, and you can follow. We have 172 viewers right now. Why did you start doing this? I've learned so much. I'm old. I love that, Mary. I started doing this when Kamala came into when she started campaigning. I made like a few posts on Facebook, and I just had this like real bug up my ass about how bad Trump was going to be if he got elected. And I started doing some posts and saw myself arguing with some like random people, and I just felt, I don't know, I felt so much more informed. And yes, Gracie has a bird in the background. What is it again? Is it a cockatiel?
Nope, she is a Panama Amazon, yellow-headed Panama Amazon.
That is so dope. Do I ever get into the game Overwatch? I know you stream sometimes. I don't play those. I play a lot of fantasy RPGs, MMORPGs. I was real big into like WoW and Final Fantasy 14. Right now I'm playing through the Final Fantasy remake, and I'm playing through Expedition 33. I loved Elden Ring. I loved Elden Ring. Elden Ring was an absolute masterpiece. Appreciate you, Blackwell. One of my tops, yeah. I love 33. When you're playing that again, I'm still so confused. I know. I need to like rewatch. I need to watch a video on like what the storyline is again, just to kind of brush up on it. How do I have 2 notifications for follows? Oh, that's a Twitch alert. Never mind. Chat, we are doing friendlies. If you guys want to hop up, you can. We're just doing random friendlies. Did I do a strength build? I did the first cheese ass. I did the blood build. I did the katanas. Whatever the bleeding katanas were. Mage builds weren't like OP yet back in the day when I played it when it first released. I did, mamas. I did. I thought it was good too. Shame.
That could be a bummer, but I haven't heard anybody's. You know those 2 people that were killed at the Jewish Museum. Did you know they were boyfriend and girlfriend getting ready to be engaged?
No, that sucks.
Yeah. They met. They met on a gathering of the October 7th. That's how they met.
Wow.
At looking for relatives there.
Damn. Damn, that sucks. What's up, Queen?
Hey, I just wanted to come up and tell you how grateful I am for you.
Thank you. Thank you. Do you have
You're
any fun...
amazing.
Thank you. Do you have any fun plans this weekend?
No, I live on a lake, so it's jam-packed full of people. So us lake livers don't do anything on the weekends.
Do you go out on the lake at least?
Yeah.
Is it nice enough?
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah,
Oh
it's
man,
raining right now.
oh that sounds great.
That's my backyard.
Oh, beautiful.
It's the largest lake in Oklahoma.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I'll catch you later, Dee Dee. Thank you. I will. Yeah, I've got about maybe 15 minutes before I like jump in the shower and get ready to go out.
So
We're
you're
gonna
going to go eat sushi?
Yeah, there's a place. It's like a 4-minute walk from me, but it's like the best sushi spot ever, and they do. It's like one of those intimate sushi places where it's a small room with like the sushi people are in the middle of it, and they're making. So like I'll order a sushi roll, and they'll like make it right there and like hand it to me. It's just a sushi bar, but it's so good.
Oh wow, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I haven't had sushi in so long.
A hand roll handed to you.
Tiger says, even though you hate Trump, you got to be difficult to support what Democrats have been caught doing, like trafficking 300,000 migrant children. Tigress, what I suggest you do is you go Google that with fact check at the end of it, and you'll find out that Trump and Vance lied to you about that number. And that number is simply the amount of children who have not been sent notice to appear notices in the mail. And for you to fall for that, and for you to continue to trust Trump and Vance, that must be real hard. That must make you violent and hostile towards the other side. When they see you do that and say those things, it must be real embarrassing. And that's probably why you guys are angry all the time. We call you out on these lies that you repeat, and you feel embarrassed. Rinse and repeat. Proven by a congressional committee. I saw it. Oh my God. It's so embarrassing. Oh my God. Birch Barbecue, thank you for the galaxy. I'm angry because we have weak men in this country. I know every single man on the right that has to walk around like this with their chests puffed out, making sure that everyone knows how manly they are. That is a weak man. That is somebody who's insecure, who has to overcompensate for their feelings of abuse from their parents, whose dad probably emasculated you your whole life, told you to work hard, and that everybody else has got to do the same thing to be a man.
That last guest you had on, where do you start? Do you start with taking over your local post office? Like, where? How does that work? I mean,
I don't know.
I've got 5 of them. Okay, I own 5. I would not know where to begin if I wanted to overthrow Donald Trump and this administration. Just saying, I don't know where I'd start.
I don't know. What's up, Two Sparrows?
Hello. I don't really have anything to say. I just felt like might as well jump in.
Well, welcome.
And that bird was clucking like a chicken. Did anyone else hear that?
I think it was yelling help.
Yes, she was. She was yelling for help. And she does do a chicken, and she does a cat, and she does a siren. And she used to be owned by a police officer, so they taught her how to say help and the siren.
Well, hopefully you don't have neighbors, because we always tell our kids not to scream help, because we're like, the neighbors will think badly.
Yeah.
I can't imagine a bird yelling help all the time.
That's your favorite thing to do.
That is insane.
We're a mellow lot tonight.
So Pickles, what's your schedule for the weekend?
I've got. I can't tell. I can't have nice things. I can't fucking even tell y'all until
No,
it's done.
I know, and I hate to ask that. I'm sorry. I was
It's
just wondering what
okay.
your schedule for being on here was. I'm sorry.
But maybe late tomorrow I might do something. Tomorrow, for the most part, dude, I have plans. We have friends coming into town to come hang
Yeah,
out with my girlfriend and I. Then we're gonna go to a little event that's happening this weekend, and then I'll tell you guys about it later afterwards. But it'll
No,
be
that's
fun.
fine.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to throw you off the deep end there.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, sometimes I forget and I start yapping about what I'm gonna do.
That's why I've kind of controlled myself on even asking you what you're going to eat anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get it. It's hard to deal with. It's similar. I have Stockholm syndrome, and I understand like that part of it. It's hard.
I feel you. The very diabolical laugh from the bird. Yeah.
What would you say is the craziest thing you heard from a Trump supporter today?
Today.
Yeah. What today?
Yeah.
I'm real bad at like remembering things that happen on a given day. I don't know. I would say maybe top 10 things of things that I've heard a Trump supporter say. Yesterday was telling me that trans people need to suck it up and just stop unaliving themselves.
Correct. That was offensive. How about the
Just slightly.
Yesterday?
Yeah, that was yesterday.
How about the guy that said the world was flat yesterday?
As my mom is a
You
flat
had a-
earther.
You had a flat earther today?
I don't remember a flat earther from today. Maybe yesterday?
Yesterday.
He has a flat earther in the family.
Crazy.
Someone on YouTube says you have very kissable lips.
Oh.
I
Cringe.
was in a conservative lab this morning, and the guy, first of all, couldn't reach his arms far enough back, patting himself on the back about his accolades, and I guarantee you that's not true. But he was like, well, I was a part of the group. We found, out of the 300,000 missing children, we found 285.
What?
Wait a second, I'm calling BS on that shit. Okay. Yeah.
I'd be like, were they in your own basement?
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That was I think that was in Montana. No, it wasn't Montana's live. I don't know who it was. It was stupid. I gotta stop going in those lives.
The chat is saying that someone has background music on.
So here's the fact check. BBC does this one. There's another good fact check from Reuters, but it says according to immigration experts and attorneys, claim largely stem from an August report from the Department of Homeland Security's Inspector General Office, which found that 32,000 unaccompanied minors failed to show up to court dates at immigration courts between 2019 and 2023, aka Trump's fucking presidency as well. Reported to note that 291,000 migrant children received no court notices at all. So are they being trafficked? Are they lost? No, they just haven't received notice to appear from court. And it's very sad that you guys are being able to be misled so easily, for you to be so small-minded, that there must be some truth to this. Even after I tell you this, you're still going to continue to think, oh man, Biden lost 300,000 people.
Yeah. 300,000 kids that Biden lost, and no one's doing anything about it.
Right. What about all the people that Biden's lost, or that Trump's lost?
Yeah. What about the 1,200 kids for sure that Trump lost from the zero tolerance policy, putting them in cages and extraditing their parents to, or
Right.
expelling their parents from the country with having separate court dates, separate prisons from their children, and just going back to the children, be like, hey, what's your name? And they don't even fucking speak English. They don't know where they're from. What about that?
And this is going away from American children, but if you care about the kids, Russia, part of their defense, part of their strategy in life is to kidnap, and this is even going back before like 2014, is to kidnap Ukrainian children and take them away and just hold on to them. That's part of what they do. We had an agency that was looking into this, not just looking into it, investigating and finding and retrieving these children. Now, granted, very slow process getting them back, but we were doing it. That program was, U.S. aid. What happened to that? So then they had all these records of all these children, all the research. They've done millions of dollars, and they destroyed it all. USAID. Let's just get rid of USAID and all those children that were abducted by Russians. Take it away. Just throwing that out there. And Rubio was asked about it. Rubio knew nothing about what was being said. Rubio was just like, what? Huh?
Someone asked what's in a sushi roll. A sushi roll's basically it's rice and it's wrapped in seaweed, which sounds gross, but it's delicious. Seaweed is just like a crunchy, thin lettuce, if you will. And it has a raw piece of fish in it. And if you do it correctly, like the fish has to go through, like they scrutinize the fuck out of what they consider sushi grade fish. And raw fish is delicious. It's like a very tender, I don't know. It's not like raw chicken. It's kind of gross. I want to say like I don't know. You've touched raw fish. It tastes good.
It has to be cut right.
Yeah.
It melts in your mouth.
No, there's all kinds of, like the octopus tentacles. Those are tough for me. I've had them. They're a little tough, but the like tuna, I love tuna.
The octopus has to be cooked right.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm talking about raw though. Yeah, I'm not even talking about raw.
Ew. Yuck. I don't think I can eat them. I tell you what, if you ever watch the documentary on the octopus, you'll never eat it again.
Oh, Amanda.
They're such
Tuna doesn't count.
Smart little guy.
Speaking of dinners, hey Pickles, I appreciate you bringing me up, but I got to go get my Italian dinner. So can you kick me down?
Absolutely. Enjoy your dinner, dude. I'll catch you later.
Thank you. I hope to see you this weekend sometime.
All right.
Bye.
It's freaking cold here. I'm so sick of the cold. Salmon is good. You guys see Amanda Rose just tormenting me? What's wrong?
I watched y'all's battles earlier.
Oh, did you see that? Yeah, they weren't the most successful. Those are fun though.
Is my sound better now?
Test.
I didn't think
A little
there's
bit of
any.
echo.
I still hear music.
Well, it almost sounds like you're in like a mall.
I am in a mall.
Yeah.
But I'm like, yeah, that sucks. All right, well, I'll leave then. I don't want to make it noisy.
It's not horrible. It's not horrible, but yeah, it sounds. You can tell you're out in the public.
Yeah, it's like a background elevator music.
Right.
So Pickles, did you know that your sushi, the wasabi, is not real wasabi?
I know. Yeah, real wasabi is like very expensive.
And it's only, I believe it's grown in Half Moon Bay in San Francisco. I think is the only place in the United States you can get it.
Wow. Yeah, unless you go to a really nice sushi restaurant, you might not get real wasabi.
Yeah, and they have to, it almost looks like a horseradish kind of, thickness, and they rub it against a rough surface to grind it up. And it only stays hot for a period of time, so it's made, fresh to order every time. But anybody, if you don't know what the wasabi is that you're eating, it's just powdered horseradish that's colored green.
much like Fuzzard.
Zip it. Zip it. Who allowed her up
Oh
here?
my god, I just now saw you. What's up? What's up, Amanda?
Hey, Pickles.
Oh, you get all excited when I come up, there's nothing, but she comes up, you're all excited.
Yeah, Fuzzer comes up. Hello, Newman.
Newman. So what about, hold on, when you buy the wasabi peas, like in the bag or whatever, like are those real? What now you've blown my mind here.
It's probably a artificial wasabi flavor.
Those are just flavored. Those are just flavored, I believe, flavored garbanzo beans. Like just on the outside, they have the wasabi, the powdered wasabi, which would be horseradish colored green.
Interesting.
Horseradish.
Yeah,
that might
because
make sense.
wasabi grows. Yeah, wasabi grows like a root,
Also, like Fuzzard.
like a. What's fuzzard?
Horseradish. That's what it says on here.
Oh.
Are those wasabi? Because I have some too. I was gonna go get it in just a second.
Wasabi almonds.
Yeah, but those are no. But I'm talking about like the actual peas or the beans or whatever they are. Is it horseradish? Huh.
I bet it's
Interesting.
still horseradish flavor.
Probably.
Fuzzard, why are you so easily excited about food?
I don't eat much, believe it or not. I just fat.
You're not fat. You are robust.
Well, okay, well, I'll take that. Oh, you guys. So yeah, you actually you were talking yesterday, and I wanted to come up while you were talking, Pickles, about quitting smoking. I quit in 2018. I'll tell you what, if anyone wants to, Chantix is how I did it. Chantix.
The gum?
Literally did not quit. I just didn't go out for that next one time. Yeah, I had 2 really, really, really bad dreams. It was worth it. But yeah.
And I heard hypnosis has worked for some people too.
Did you say hypnosis?
Mm-hmm. Chelsea Handler, she talked about it, how she quit smoking through hypnosis.
What were the dreams? So the one dream was this guy's face just getting mutilated. I'm not going to explain that totally. But the one that was really bad was every single thing in my life that gives me anxiety, all were coming true. Like everything that I think about, everything I dwell about, everything that's upsets me or upsetting me during my life was happening all in that one dream. That was a tough one, but that was but it was worth it to no longer smoke. So yeah, a couple bad dreams.
All those Ozempics and stuff like that are supposed to be really good for quitting things. My sort of dad and sort of stepmom, they both quit as they got Ozempic for diabetes, and then they both lost a ton of weight, and they both have absolutely zero interest in smoking.
Wow.
Which never in my life would I ever think. They were both born in the 50s, like smoked since they were 10. Never even thought they'd quit.
Did you say Ozempic?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they're doing that for alcoholism as well.
Ozempic is tough for insurance to cover, though. I know that. But, first Amanda, now Johnny. Great.
I was gonna say, what was it? I feel like I'm being cheated on. What's going on? I mean, everybody's here. Everybody's here.
Well, everybody and Fuzzard.
Dang.
Here we are.
I'm just stalling. I gotta
I've
do
been
things.
caught cheating.
You feel like
Yeah, my whole day, literally at work, I work like 14 hours a day at my store, is between watching Johnny and Pickles all day long.
Oh my gosh! Wait, where's?
Who just said Amanda's the funniest? That's not true.
Amanda.
Oh, I have to say hello to Johnny and tell him I love Johnny. I love your stream.
Oh my God! I love you.
Yeah. Boy, you get some crazy.
He's all right.
Oh, tell me about it.
I saw Johnny swear twice today, and he did not sing himself the swearing song.
Excuse me, I wrote the song. I don't know. Do I have to sing it for myself?
I don't know. I kind of expected it.
I did it a couple times, and then it was like, I feel like I should reserve it only for other people. Although, what the?
Hi, Johnny. How's it going?
Oh, jeez.
You know what? Honestly, so much better now.
What the? I think I just watched a video with you. What the?
Hi.
Wasn't
Hi,
Oslo?
Amanda. Hi,
Yeah,
Thunder.
wasn't Oslo in our live last night, but didn't come on the camera?
Well, I didn't have camera access yet. I only got camera access today.
So, but
I
you were
love this. I love this.
Huh.
Yeah, I was in the live, but nobody believes me until I turn my camera on. They think I'm trolling.
I didn't believe that you were over 12 years old at first.
I know. I remember. Well, I'm not, but he is.
This is iconic.
The person with his hand up my ass.
Oh.
Oh, it's
Buzzard, that kind of reminds. Never mind.
Lawrence thinks I hate it.
Feels like a Trump parody.
Dang.
No, the orange one. I haven't introduced. I haven't introduced the orange character yet, but he's the Trump parody.
Oh my gosh.
He's gonna run for president again.
Oh my god. Should be dripping with Cheeto dust.
Does the orange one have room for like 18 hands?
The orange one is made out of a 33-gallon trash can. He's very large.
So there's room for all the puppet hands.
Yes. Actually, you put half of your body inside of it.
It'd be like Ace Ventura, where he's coming out of the rhino's butthole there. That idea.
You know what? I thought I wanted to come up here. I really did. I think I was stalling on the gym, but I think I'm actually. This has really motivated me. I think I'm gonna go to the gym now. I'll talk to y'all
Am
later.
I the reason you're leaving, John? Oh
no,
John,
it's not you. It's Fuzzard. Anyway, bye everybody.
Catch you later.
I promise you, it's not you. It's Fuzzard.
It's
I just want to point out, this is exactly why Fuzzard gets banned every night in my life.
Whatever. I don't get banned. People love me. You guys vote. Try to get rid of me.
So, Pickles, did you expect you were gonna have two puppets in your live today? One named Oslo and one named Fuzzard?
was not thinking this was going to be a thing. Definitely a wild card. Definitely a curveball.
Well, I'm kind of a new account, and I'm trying something that I'm calling the Sesamocratic method, which is just asking simple questions to MAGA, because they seem to have a logic problem. So trying something like Sesame Street, but for adults.
Yeah, I was thinking
see
about
how it goes.
I was thinking about doing the same thing. I was going to do like Miss Rachel kind of type show. Like, can you say impeachment? Like things like that.
Like I think it was it Sesame Street. One of them used to have like the two whispering heads, and they'd go, "Bah, oh, bah, oh," and they bring the whole word together. Impeachment. Impeachment.
Have you guys seen the Sesame Street character?
It was Electric Company. That's what I thought.
Oh, was it Donald Grump?
Yes.
Yeah, Joe Pesci.
Yeah, he never got over that.
Yeah, I've seen him angry about that.
Epic.
It's really just a bunch of grudges. Like he's going after Harvard because Barron didn't get accepted, right?
Yeah.
Wait, is that really the reason?
I heard the rumors of that, but I don't know. Yeah, I haven't verified that. I've heard that.
I mean, he can try to sue me for defamation, but I'm literally just made of felt and fur, so I don't know.
He'll steal your fur. and make a hat out of it.
He'll wear it on his head.
Or a merkin. If you don't know what a merkin is, I can explain it in great detail.
Okay, kids, let's spell this. Toupee. Toupee.
Toupee.
Toupee.
That right?
Which is also the motto. Which is also the motto of the Trump administration. Toupee.
Queen Bree, thank you guys for all the love. Chat, don't forget to give me a follow. If you haven't done so already, I've got about, I don't know, maybe 10 more minutes. I'll be on, and then I've got dinner. I've got dinner at 6:30. It's 6:11 right now.
And then that's Pickles
Yep.
GGS on YouTube.
Yeah, Pickles GGS on YouTube, y'all.
Wait a minute.
Pickles?
Wait a minute. I know that I'm an inanimate object, but is that like a talking bird that I hear?
Yes.
It is. But I thought it just said pickles.
Yeah, I'm having trouble unmuting without her. She gets really riled up around this time of day.
But did she just yell pickles?
No, she was singing opera like this.
Does that sound like pickles? Pickles!
Oh my god.
Do, re, mi, fa,
It sounds just like
pickles!
That's so great.
If you ever need a theme song, we know what it sounds like now.
That could be my hook. That could be my my closing.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, pickles!
That's amazing. An opera singing bird. You have to post videos. Do you post videos of it on TikTok?
I don't.
You should.
She actually has the vibrato and everything. It's fantastic.
Still a better singer than Fuzzard.
Well.
Am I wrong, Fuzzard?
I didn't hear what you said. What was it?
I said still a better singer than Fuzzard.
Come on now.
I'm
Not a
not wrong.
Okay, well, the bird's pretty good. It's not exactly an insult.
You know, I'm not familiar with Fuzzard as many times as I've been on.
No?
No. It's nice to meet you finally.
You're better off this way.
I'm better off.
Are you familiar with Manda and her lives?
No, I can't. Nope, I'm not. I really just watched Pickles, Johnny, and Mojo.
They have a vote. They have a vote in Amanda's live to ban Fuzzard. He keeps coming back. I don't know how it's possible.
I don't lose my votes. So ask me about my yard drawers. Yes, there is a pair of drawers that I found in my backyard. I have no idea. There's videos, but I don't know how they got there. Just showed up. Johnny for the win.
Yeah, why did Johnny leave? I think it was me. Was it me? I'm too fuzzy. He likes a clean-shaven man.
I think, yeah.
He went to work out his biceps, so his tattoos look bigger.
Yeah, he's still in the chat. Come on.
Oh, hi, Johnny.
Which, by the way, Amanda kicked Johnny's ass today in the battles. Well, no, she won the first one, right? He won the second one. She's not answering. I don't know.
Yeah. My daughter came in here and asked if I wanted Subway. So, yeah, I want a cold cut trio, please.
Well, I'm following you now, so I'll see your lives.
Well, it's Amanda's live.
I need to find out more about these battles thing because it's the only way that Canadians can actually make money on TikTok.
Speaking of which, you guys, I gotta get this account to 10,000. So if I can get some follows, I'm
Don't do it.
500 somewhere around there.
Yeah,
It's a
y'all's
bad
better go follow Amanda and follow Fuzzy, and I guess follow Oslo. See how that goes for you.
Don't follow me unless you like to see offensive stuff. Apparently.
I like offensive stuff.
I like that shirt, Pickles. It looks really nice.
Thank you. Getting dressed up for dinner tonight.
You change your shirt and you call that a shower because you said you were gonna take a shower first.
Nah. Nothing a few squares of cologne don't fix.
See, even the bird thinks I'm funny.
Looking.
No need to shower. The Texas heat isn't that bad. I'm not that sweaty. Go on, get. I saw someone saying that they had a go on get hat. That's pretty cool.
We have go on get shirts, but no hats yet.
No hats. Go on get.
Go on get.
That's usually when I'm in the box waiting to come up. Fuzzard, I'm talking to you, you dumb fuck. Go on get. Oh.
All right. I think I'm gonna cut it short. Who should we raid?
Let me see.
Let's see. We got Dean. We got Dan. Let's raid Dan.
You guys, do you know? You guys know Tim Handsome? Handsome literal.
Yeah.
Fairy. We could raid him or the fairy woman. She's pretty funny. Did I send you that, Pickles? The fairy woman. Hold on. I'm going. I'll send you a live.
Wait, Oslo has my shirt. Where did you get that? What?
From your website.
Oslo. That is hilarious. What?
Just pulled it right out of his ass.
What the? Hell yeah, W Oslo.
The next
Big
one's got to
dubs.
be okay, Bub.
Let's raid Dan. Let's raid Dan. We got Dan Malik is on. DAN MALEK. Dan Malik. He's only 10,000 likes into his stream. Go in there, give him a big old fat juicy pickle injection.
Oh.
Nice.
Oh wow, that's nice. That's a little too saucy for PBS.
You just put awesome without words. That's what? All right, guys. Enjoy your sushi, buddy.
All right, I will. Much love, y'all. Thanks for coming hanging out.
See you later.
Thanks
All
for
right.
having me.
Bye,
Anytime.
everyone.
Bye.
All right. Bye, chat. Go say hi to Dan for me. Give Dan a big fat pickle injection. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.